Back over. Welcome back, everybody. We're excited that you're here. We're just doing our tech stuff behind the scenes. And look at that. Clearly it worked because you guys are here. That's a good thing. We got folks coming back. So I don't know why this is start live stream, but I've already done that. So, oh, there's Tegan coming in now too. Awesome. All right, come on in. Welcome back. Welcome back. Maybe we should do a little bit of
Yes, we're currently live on YouTube. So if you send it back over to me, I'll be able to make it live in the lobby.
one
And
second. One second. I got you. Just 1 second. It's coming back your way. I'm trying to get something off my screen. I don't move quite as quick as you do with the whole tech thing, but it's coming. So welcome back, everybody. We're excited that you're here. We're handling some tech things, getting things sorted out for you so that we can jump right into this afternoon. And I want to know, I want to hear from you. Not yet, but I want you to get your thought ready on what was your biggest aha, or every time I click it, it goes down some more. Your biggest aha or takeaway from this morning's sessions. I mean, we really have enjoyed a lot of juiciness. That's is no other way to describe it other than that. A whole lot of juiciness today. All right, we got some folks. So people are trying to get in. So people are messaging me. I'm checking my phone. I'm texting folks. I'm talking to y'all. It's a lot going on at one time. But this is what happens when you're doing it live, right? And we can't fake this. It just is what it is. And as you saw this morning, we roll with the punches. That's what we do. We roll with the punches. Somebody type that in the chat. Roll with the punches. I love Dr. Mari's takeaway. If I only had 7 minutes, what would I say? What would I say? That was from Alan. Alan, who was one of the third place Toastmasters International Champion. This that we talked to this morning for that juicy fireside chat. Oh my goodness, I will never forget that. I did not expect that to be what it was. Okay. I mean that it was riveting. It was emotionally stirring. And I was really moved. Yeah, we learned that this morning. Like roll with the punches. Maida Figueroa Clark, my good friend, my sister. She said the AI info is so good. Were you in a session? Who's AI? Because I know we had Bertine who did a workshop on AI, but we also had Monique who talked about AI today. Anybody else? Renika, you better have that passport. You better have that passport together and get in community with others that have their passport. I love that. Yes. Victoria says, make your story so good that people will remember. Come on, Victoria. That's why we here. Yes. Let's see. Okay, Bertine, the AI. Good. Because can we say and repeat over and over again, AI is not going anywhere. AI is not going anywhere. Well, again, you are the early birds. We know some more folks will be trickling in, and that's fine. But we're going to get started because we're trying to keep things on track. Thank God we are back here in the events Zoom platform where we're supposed to be, where we paid a whole lot of money to create this experience for y'all. They better get it working, right, y'all? They better get it working. They don't understand. We're going to be sending some letters and some notes and some emails. So I believe our next speaker is here and queued up. And so I'm going to give her an intro and turn the stage over to her. Her name is Tegan Bartos, and I had the privilege of connecting with her through some sessions that I was hosting through Graphy. And I just loved her content. I loved her energy and her vibrancy and her spirit. And what did we say yesterday? For those of you who were here, what did we say about divine connection? It's what, y'all? Anybody remember? I'm gonna have to close my blinds so the sun is not crossing my face. Anybody remember? Type in the chat. Let me know. What did we say if you were here yesterday? Come on, it ain't hard. Divine connection ain't hard. It's easy. It's not a whole lot. It's not like pulling teeth. It's just easy. And I feel like we easily connected. So I'm excited to have, thank you so much. I'm excited to have Tegan Bartos with us. She leads JYC, a portfolio of companies redefining growth by proving that when people thrive, progress follows, even in an automated world. So her topic today is the business building blueprint for scalable growth and time freedom. Oh, that sounds good. Get your notepads ready. Welcome, Tegan. I'm turning the platform over to you.
Thank you. And fun fact, let me move my mic. I actually wrote a completely different presentation today, forgetting I already had this one. So for all you speakers out there, you can appreciate how systematizing things is really beneficial. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Oops, can I share my screen?
Yes, we will give you access right now.
Awesome. All right. We should be good there. All right. Well, welcome everyone. I am so glad you're here. If you're a coach, a consultant, a resume writer, a service-based expert, like a speaker who's incredible at what you do, but you're starting to feel the ceiling. I have been there too, and that's why I was so excited to join an event like this, because when we can automate, we can exponentially grow and get our time back. You might be completely booked out or completely burnt out, or realizing that you've built something that only grows when you're constantly on, and that can be tricky, right? So this masterclass, fireside chat, or whatever you want to call our time getting together today is about something deeper than tactics. It's about identity. Because what got us here is not going to get us there. Not our talent, not our work ethic, not how much we care about our clients. It's just not going to help us achieve that next level of income, freedom, or impact. So today I'm going to walk you through the blueprint that I've used to evolve from going from a high-performing coach and consultant to a true business owner with structure, systems, and scalable offer suites. I really do believe that we rise together, but today is going to be our starting point. So go ahead and grab a notebook, clear your distractions, and give yourself permission to step out of coach mode, speaker mode, or whatever it is that you identify to. And I would like you to step into your role as a CEO of your business. Most service providers, even the successful ones, we don't have a business. We have a job we can't quit. And I say that with so much love because some days I still feel like that, especially with my business lines and other offers that are newer. I don't know if any of you can relate. If you can, put a reaction in or put a comment in the chat. It's just some days hard. It feels like a job that we can't quit, that we love so darn much. We deliver incredible results. We get referrals. But if we stop working, our income stops too. Maybe you've created a name for yourself, but there's no structure to scale it, or you're starting to realize that your business only works when you're working. We're in a safe place today. And so there's no judgment coming from anyone inside of this virtual room or out there on YouTube Live. But this is about awareness, because awareness is the first step towards change. And this is where we shift from speaker, coach, consultant, service provider of any kind to truly becoming the CEO. So what we're building today isn't just a better offer or a prettier brand. It's a business that creates space, leverage, and long-term sustainability. So if that hit home, you're in a good place today. Before I ever had a business, I personally had a mission. I started my career working on Department of Labor grants, everything from AARP's Back to Work 50 Plus, which is ironic because I was in my 20s, to managing the RIF program across the Chicagoland area. To manage. Oh, okay. It was important work. It's impact-driven work, but it wasn't sustainable income-wise. So I moved into agency recruiting. The money was a lot better, but during a reorg, I saw some of the cracks it was more like a collapse, shady hiring practices, burnout culture, and a complete disregard for the human experience. And I couldn't stay it anymore. So I left with no backup plan. I was pregnant with very little in savings. So all I had was this resume writing side hustle that was now supposed to support me and my child. And I had to make it work. But it wasn't easy. And I don't know how you all ended up where you're at. Some of you may have had a little bit more going for you at the time. But I personally spent years stuck in what I now call the coaching hustle loop, constantly chasing income, undercharging, delivering custom everything, and watching people around me pass me by with less experience, but better systems. Eventually, I hired a business coach, and within 30 days, I was easily bringing in 10K months, mostly through one-on-one coaching and done-for-you services. Now my package is 10K, right? But you start somewhere, right? But here's the thing he didn't tell me, is that when your entire business depends on you, your time, your energy, your calendar, you don't own the business, it owns you. So I hired a different kind of coach, one who taught me to build as a CEO. I put systems in place, I built a team, and I finally stepped into the leadership of my business. And last year we did 1.4 in revenue across the portfolio of companies. And I don't say that to brag. It's just, it's insignificant to maybe many of you here today. But from where I started to where I'm at now, it would not have been possible if I kept doing business as is. And so if you've ever felt like you're on a hamster wheel in your business, so have I. If you're creating everything from scratch, making everything custom, saying yes to every client, even when you can tell they will be draining or not the best fit, at first, these actions feel like momentum, like growth. But then you realize you're running hard and not actually moving forward. So if you're booked out, but somehow still behind for booking that next wave of clients, if you're earning more, but you're still doing more and it all depends on you, when you're the product, the service, the marketer, the accountants, the visionary all at once, burnout, it's not a question of if, it's a matter of when. And this is the part that no one warns us about, or at least I wasn't warned, because most of us didn't start off with a true business model that was ever supposed to grow past us. So we're all here to start building something smarter, right? Automation without losing that heart. So before we dive into the strategy, I just want to pause here for a moment, because strategy alone wasn't enough. Or if strategy alone was enough, you'd already have the business you want. The strategies are out there. All of the information for us to have amazing businesses is online. But what most of us get stuck in, it's not the lack of skill, it's the stories that we tell ourselves about what's required, what's allowed, what's realistic. And these stories feel so true because they're rooted in our experiences. But that doesn't mean they're not useful. So let me show you what I mean. When we say things like, I just need more clients, it sounds productive, but underneath it, it's if I just work harder, it'll eventually all pay off. That's a hustle loop. That's where we burn out to saying yes to everything. We don't need more clients. We need more leverage. And then there's, I'm not ready to scale yet. Maybe you're here and just starting a speaking business or some other type of service-based business. And you're like, no, Tegan, like you're way past me here. This one's sneaky because it feels like humility, but it's often fear of stepping into something bigger. Who am I to lead? Who am I to delegate? Who am I to build something beyond me? But here's the reframe. If you're overwhelmed now, you're already overdue for systems. You don't scale when you're ready, you scale because you're not ready. And then this one's personal. I can't take a step back. Has anybody ever said that? Maybe to a spouse, or when a important activity is coming up, or when you skipped the coffee date with your girlfriend? I can't step back. I am the business. I've lived this. When you're the service, the delivery, the face, the everything, stepping back feels irresponsible. But that mindset is the very thing that keeps your business from growing beyond you. So I believe that true leadership isn't doing everything. It's about designing results that don't depend on your calendar. If you heard a client say these things, you would likely challenge them. So today, I'm very lovingly flipping the mirror on all of us today and challenging ourselves. Let's start to think like CEOs. Let's build from a different foundation. So now that we've looked at some beliefs that hold us back, and I really hope I'm not the only one that feels this way. Am I in good company? Can anybody drop in the chat? Are we in the same space? We're here. We all kind of feel this way. Okay, yes. Okay. Whew. Okay. So we all have our beliefs that hold us back. Let's walk through what actually moves us forward. This is the exact model that I follow to go from the done for you hustle with zero scalability to building a platform of businesses. If those of you aren't familiar with like corporate jargon, a platform business means there's multiple businesses within a parent company. So I've got my resume writing firm, I have my recruitment firm, I have my consulting firm, and I've got a real estate arm. So across the three, they generated a significant amount of revenue for me, my team, my family across done for you products, digital products, consulting, all of that. And I didn't burn out. It was one of the first years that I really didn't feel like I was burnt out. And I want all of that for you because I never thought it was imaginable before, but it is. And so for the purpose of this workshop, let's call it the coach or speaker or service-based provider to the CEO mindset. Whoever you are, plug yourself in. I identify as a coach. However you identify, let's plug that in there. And it's built around 4 strategic shifts. So phase 1 is get clarity. You can't scale confusion. This phase is all about alignment, getting clear on your niche, the transformation you deliver, and how that maps out to the core offer you can build around. So if you're a speaker, maybe you also want to be able to sell a book with it. Whether you're a coach, a consultant, you speak, your business foundation starts here. When this part is dialed in, everything gets easier. Your message, your sales, your delivery. Most of us skip this and wonder why our business flops or why we're attracting the wrong type of clients. Clarity fixes that. So then phase 2 is leverage. This is where we stop building everything custom and start packaging our intellectual property. You don't have to ditch providing services one-on-one. You can absolutely continue providing private coaching sessions or done for you services, but they become a premium, intentional, and positioned within an extension plan. So this phase is about leverage, layering your offer, scalable delivery, repeatable results. So you're not trading every hour for income. Phase 3, this is where we need to get our systems. This is where structure sets you free. We start to build simple, repeatable systems that run without you, from client onboarding to fulfilling to visibility and sales. If something can be a template, it should be. If it can be automated, even better. We don't need to make things rigid, but we do want to remove some of the chaos that goes on behind the scenes, right? So we can finally start thinking like a CEO instead of a freelancer wearing all of the hats. And then phase 4 is about getting support. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, I'm not ready to buy or pay for someone to join my team, but I'm telling you, it's a game changer. Because when you stop being the entire business, you can finally grow beyond you. And that's the goal. Not just more income, but a company that creates impact without you having to do it all yourself. And I feel like I'm probably close to time. So you guys tell me where I'm at. Oops. Yes.
5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to show you a sneak peek real quick. So, clarity, what energizes you? What drains you? We want to build around our natural strengths. Who's your ideal client? What's your offer or offers going to be? Now, leverage. This is time to turn our expertise into assets, signature keynotes, lunch and learns, expand delivery options by offering a book or an online course because we want to protect our energy. And then we want to have systems. Anything that we repeat, there is a tool to automate. We want to create a client journey that is predictable, repeatable, and that creates a transformation, because that's how people buy from us. They want that transformation. And then we want to track what matters. All of the data, we want to have some type of dashboard to help guide our decisions so we're not running our business from guesswork. And then phase 4, which is the scariest thing for me, was creating a team. We want to delegate to scale. I no longer create my graphics, my slide decks. I'm not editing my videos. Some of the time, I'm not even doing my own hair or makeup, depending on the day. I've got people managing my social media inbox, my calendars. There is so much that we can delegate for very affordable and prices. And when we think about how much is this task, me creating a graphic, is this a $5 task? Well, my hourly rate is $3.50. So isn't it worth it for me to have somebody else do it so I can spend that hour making $3.50? And we want to hire strategically and start with roles that unlock revenue, because it's really easy to give somebody busy work that doesn't actually drive revenue. We need the revenue coming in. So if you're a speaker, having somebody send out proposals for you or filling out RFPs or searching for events, that's the type of person that we want to hire first. And we want to lead like a CEO. So we don't want to be the technician. We want to hire the experts in that space to come and help us grow our business. And so what becomes possible with the right model is that we can go from being stuck and drained and miserable to having freedom, to go and read to our son's class at story time, to be there for our mother as she ages so she can have dignity in those final days. That's what matters to me, and I can imagine it what matters to a lot of you. So most of us, we stay stuck because we wait until we have it all figured out before we take the next step. But if there's one thing I've learned on this journey, it's that clarity comes from action, not from more thinking. So whether you're in phase 1 or phase 4 of your business, this shift from service provider, speaker, coach to CEO, it's not a single moment. It's a series of intentional decisions, bold pivots, and aligned actions. So if today sparked anything, I know we've got a couple of minutes. Maybe you can drop some questions in the chat, and I will put these. I see in the chat. What are the systems? Every business, we're in one of 4 phases. Do we have clarity? Do we have leverage? Do we have systems? Do we have a team? Clarity comes from taking action. Yes, it does. Well, thank you all so much for having me here today, and I can't wait to keep learning from everybody else as well.
Thank you so much, Tegan. Wow. You talk about literally maximizing 20 minutes. Come on now. Like, y'all, they're already giving you love. I didn't have to ask them, but please give her love in the chat as well. I see all the reactions and the emojis and things coming up. I love that. Make sure you give Tegan appreciation, love in the chat, fireballs, bombs, because it was all of that. It was fireballs and it was bombs. It was everything. And when you talk about this is the type of session that you want to spend your 20 minutes on, right? Because all of us know that time is a thing we never get back. So when we are investing our time anywhere, not just our money, but our time, we want to make sure that it adds great value to us. And you certainly did that. I'm so honored to be connected and so thankful and grateful for your yes to us today. Thank you so much for everything you poured into us. And our next speaker, y'all, we're gonna keep this thing moving because what is Dr. Cheryl OCD about? Somebody tell me in the chat. What is Dr. Cheryl OCD about? Which is why I had to make sure I just woo-side earlier today when we were having some of those technical challenges. Come on, y'all ain't even my clients yet, and you know. Dr. Cheryl's OCD about time. We try to keep things on time. We are about 6 minutes behind schedule, but we about to catch that up. Our next speaker coming to the stage is another beautiful sister that I got to connect with recently at a conference. I was one of the speakers, she was one of the speakers, and I just love how she shows up in the world. I love her energy. You know, it's something about good energy, right? Energy is really contagious. And when you see another sister and y'all kind of meet eyes and then you hug each other and love on each other, like, you know, you're always going to be my sister. So this is my sister from another mister, as they say, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. And she is an award-winning global television and radio broadcaster, YouTube Silver Creator Award winner, Peace Ambassador, and founder of USA Global TV and Radio, empowering audiences worldwide to master the art of elevated listening. Did y'all hear that? Were you listening? Elevated listening for deeper connections and authentic communication. Please welcome to the stage Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, mastering the power of elevated listening. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much for that introduction. Wow, what a beautiful presentation we just had before this, and it's an honor to be here. So I'm going to be talking to you about listening, and you might be thinking to yourself, I don't need to learn anything about listening because I'm a good listener. I'm going to challenge you on that, because if everyone's a good listener, why is there so much discourse in the world, right? So let's focus on the positive. I'm here to give you some tips to help you be an elevated listener. So I'm going to go ahead and share my presentation and just give you a little bit of background. So during 2020, I decided to retire from my corporate career. And during that time, I realized that I needed something to do to earn a living. And so I decided to start a radio show and also a television show that I paid for. And I was going to do life coaching. And of course, I'm a meditation coach. I'm a yoga instructor, on and on. I was going to do all of these things. And the pandemic hit and no one could afford to pay me. And then right after that, my mother got dementia. And I had to move in with her and I had to take care of her full-time. I was her full-time caregiver. So I started doing television shows. And what I realized was most people were not listening. So if you are watching TV interview and you see somebody's got a script and they're just going down question after question and they're not listening to what the person's saying, that's what goes on a lot in life as well. That we are listening so we can respond. We're listening so we can overtalk. We're listening so we can be right. So I decided to design a television platform that is all about elevated listening. And so I live and breathe elevated listening every single day. What does that mean? We're going to get into it with 5 tips, and we're going to go through the 4 pillars of elevated listening. So my question for you is in the chat, are you listening? And if you are, rate yourself as a listener. How much of a listener do you think you are when it comes to a scale of 1 to 10? Are you a great listener? Are you an average listener? Put in a number from 1 to 10. And then I want you to drop in there, what would your family say you are in terms of a listener? What would your coworkers say? Put the number in the chat and let's see where we are. All right, thank you for these answers. I appreciate it. 9, 9, 8, 9, 9. Okay, everybody's a great listener. I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so I'm going to assume that you all are great listeners, but what I can tell you is look at what's going on in the world. I can bring up to you politics and people will stop listening. I can talk to you about gun control. I can talk to you about abortion. I can talk to you about vaccinations, and people will stop listening. Why? Because they're filled with judgment. And as soon as we start judging one another, then nothing happens. Nothing is going to happen in a good way. So, what I want us to think about is what would it be like to be in a world where we didn't judge anyone, where we basically showed up our complete, authentic selves, and we gave the gift of elevated listening. So, elevated listening looks like this: listening without interruption, listening without problem solving, listening without stage hogging, and listening without judgment. Now, in order to be someone listening at an elevated level, we have to set boundaries and ask permission. What does that mean? I'm going to give you a quick example. Someone calls on the phone, you see their name, you know them, and you think to yourself, if I pick up this call, I am going to be on this phone for an hour with Susie, blah, 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 blah. And I'm in the middle of doing 10 things. But what do? We pick up the phone. Why? Because we don't want Susie to be upset, or maybe because there's a crisis. There's always a crisis with Susie. So now we're on the phone. We're supposedly listening, but we're on our computer. We're watching something on the screen. We are secretly talking to someone else while we're listening. So we're not listening. And Susie knows we're not listening. I want you to think for the next 15 seconds, when was the last time you felt like someone truly was listening to what you had to say? If you can think of it, put a name in the chat. It was Uncle Bill. It was Cousin Bob. It was my partner. Put it in the chat. Let's see. Okay, we've got my aunts. I love that. Best friend. Okay, so you remember it. It stands out for you. You said to yourself, you know what? That person heard me. They were really listening. Now, how many times have you been in a situation where you knew someone wasn't listening to you? They're looking around, they're looking at their watch, or in their mind, they're thinking something else. The minute you stop talking, boom, boom, they come right in because they didn't hear what you had to say. They weren't listening. So let's look at these 4 elements quickly, and then let's look at some tips of what we can do. Okay, interruption. We'll take questions at the end. Oh, I have a question. No longer listening, right? You're the speaker. You know they're not listening. Second, problem solving. You know, Karen, I'd really like to share something that happened with me today. Actually, my sink is backed up. Oh, your sink's backed up. I know, you could call a plumber. I got a great plumber. I didn't ask you about a plumber. I just wanted to tell you what happened, and zoom, you cruised in and decided to solve my problem. How many times does that happen? The next one is stage hogging. You know what? I'm going on this fabulous trip. I'm going to be going to London. Oh, I just got back from London. Let me tell you about my trip. I never even got to speak about my trip to London because now you stole the stage. And the last one, the dreaded one, it was so bad. It just happened to me. I had to write a book about it, Holy but Harmful. Somebody said to me, you're really showy, and it's embarrassing. That's interesting. Judgmental statements that people make all the time, passive aggressive statements. All of this comes together, meaning we're no longer listening. So what happens? Someone says something to us and we become highly emotional. Maybe we're showing it on our face. Maybe it's in our body. We are really upset about something. And so now all we want to do is get our word in. I want to tell you, this is how I think. I want you to think about a fire. Okay, I've never been on a reality TV show. Maybe it'll happen. I don't know, but I'm not going in the woods. Anyway, sometimes you have to build a fire, right? And they have the, like, I don't know, kindling things, stuff. I would light my nails on fire. I don't even know. But people are there. They're doing the fire. And then to keep the fire going, you have to blow on the fire, right? You have to do something to keep it going. It's the same thing in conversations, okay? If you say something that is upsetting to someone else and they come and jump in, you're both in the fire. And now it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And so no one is listening. I want to help you master the power of elevated listening by learning how to listen and set boundaries. The first boundary is when you have a conversation with someone, you're about to talk to them. Marilyn, I'd like to share something with you. It's going to take about 15 minutes. Would now be a good time? Now you're the other person. If it's not a good time, you do not say yes. It's the power of no, having courage to say no. You know what, Sharon? I would really like to listen to you, but I'm not available now. I will be available in an hour. How would that be? Now, Marilyn doesn't like this, Sharon, I forget who's who, but doesn't like it because we want to be heard right now. It's like we're like a child. Oh, I've got to be heard right now. Listen to me right now, right? If we ever had that experience happen, you've got to calm yourself down, whatever is happening to you at the moment. Listen to your intuition. That is the first step. Become calm and listen to your intuition. Your intuition's telling you, you know what? There's a situation, but we will find a solution. Okay, when we keep our emotions at bay, we can find a solution. So the first step is we ask for permission. Would now be a good time? Now, if you ask for the permission and it's for a certain amount of time, which I always suggest, it's 15 minutes. If it's a major life situation, you might need a few hours, you might need a day. Make sure you stick to the boundary of the time that you ask. If you ask for 30 minutes, it's 30 minutes. It's not an hour and a half. Okay, that's another conversation because what happens? People lose trust. You said an hour and you went 3. I can't trust you anymore. So next thing, when you're setting boundaries, I'm checking my time. When you're setting boundaries, okay, I don't even answer the phone ever. Unless somebody contacts me via text or email, messenger, WhatsApp, I need to speak with you for 20 minutes. Then I get back to them. Thank you for the time check. Then I will answer the phone. Otherwise, I want you to have my full attention and I can't give it to you. Okay, I'm running television shows or producing television shows and my phone is off. And it used to be on because people would think that I can actually host and produce a TV show and respond to them. They're not listening. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to calm down. Second thing, we're going to listen to our intuition. Third thing is we're going to set a boundary and ask permission. And the next thing is we're going to be realistic. Okay, we cannot be listening at an elevated level using the 4 pillars: no interruption, no problem solving, no stage hogging, and no judgment. We cannot do this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Why? It's exhausting. It's exhausting. Because to be fully present means you are nowhere else. I am nowhere else right now but with you. In fact, I have a whole slide deck, which I completely forgot about because that's how present I am. So you're fully present and engaged for a certain amount of time. And this is a gift. Happy holidays. It's a gift because no one is listening to anyone. So when you're that person with the elevated listening skills, everyone will look up to you. People will be like, that's incredible. That's how I got the name The Listening Mentor. I didn't name myself The Listening Mentor, but people have been saying to me for years, you're such a good listener. And it's exhausting, but I love to do it. And it is a gift. When you give the gift of listening, you could change someone's life. It is not about you. It's about them. It's about being a human being who is doing something kind for someone else. And one day you may need it for yourself. Think about when you have something that comes up in your life. Do you really want someone telling you what to do? How do they know what you should be doing? They don't even know what they're doing. I have people reach out to me and say this and that. I'm like, really? Have you looked at your own life? Have you looked at the mess that you're in and you're calling to tell me something? I don't think so. You got to have boundaries. Okay. So we're going to be calm. We're going to let ourselves feel emotions for a certain amount of time. We're setting a boundary. My boundary is 10 minutes. I will let myself get upset for 10 minutes. I had problems logging on here and I was starting to freak out. I'm like, 10-minute rule, that's it. I got it together. The solution, I found the link and I got on. Okay. When we're highly emotional, we can't be listening to ourselves or to anyone else. With setting a boundary, you have every right to say to your partner, to your significant other, whomever, you know what? You are really important to me, and I want to listen to how your day was, but right now I need a moment. You have every right when someone is just coming at you with everything they have to just nod your head, set a boundary, and say, thank you. I'm now leaving. Set a boundary. Okay, so we're calm, we're listening to our intuition, we're setting our boundaries, we're using the 4 pillars, and we're being realistic that we cannot be listening at an elevated level all of the time. And when you start practicing these 4 things, the biggest one again is judgment. I have over 100 statements that are judgmental. And in fact, I'm just going to read a couple because I think I have it right here. You look pretty good for your age. Oh, he's a father at home, must be lazy. I mean, these are statements people make all the time and they're judgmental. So it's the same thing. If I said to you, let's talk about the president of the United States, 50% of you would start applauding and 50% of you would start screaming and yelling. No one's listening. In the United States, the government shut down. No one's listening to each other. So what I advocate for are those 4 things. Listen without interruption. Listen without problem solving. Listen without stage hogging, and listen without judgment. That is the role of an elevated listener. You can master these 4 things and it will change your life. On our television network, we have no script. So the guest comes on, we ask them what they want to talk about, and we ask one question and we go wherever it is that they go. So my entire team of TV show hosts, I think we have 62 now, they are all trained as elevated listeners. And so when you come into our platform, you are heard, you are seen, and you are heard because we have no agenda. I recently was watching an interview that Harrison Ford did, and the interviewer asked him something that he specifically said he didn't want to talk about, and she kept going and going, and he finally walked out because she had an agenda. Let your agenda be that you want to give the gift of elevated listening to someone, and it will be a gift that comes back to you. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. As we sign off, I just want to show this. This is the YouTube Silver Creator Award that our team earned in April. Less than 1% of all YouTube channels in the world have it. So elevated listening works. Thank you, everyone.
Wow, wow, wow. I don't even have to tell them what to do, Dr. Jacqueline. They're already sending you all the love. Talk
Thank
about
you.
another power-packed session. And she got all of that in 15 minutes. I hope you speakers are taking notes. Like, you can get a lot in. You can serve in a big way in a short period of time. 15 minutes with Dr. Jacqueline. We had 20 minutes with Tegan, and just information, strategies, actionable, practical steps that you can take immediately. Thank you for adding so much value to SpeakerCon this year. We're so blessed to have your presence here. Thank you so much. We're going to keep it moving because we are doing pretty good, catching up on time. Now we're down to 4 minutes behind schedule. Come on. The one thing Dr. Cheryl don't play about, type it in the chat, is what? What is it? And while you're doing that, we're going to bring up our next speaker. This speaker is very near and dear to my heart because he is a part of my GSU community, Global Speakers University. He went through the whole program. He graduated, and now he's just taking over the world. You know, just as I tell Dr. Delatoro, leave some stuff for us. We want to eat too. We want to eat too, Dr. Donald. Leave some speaking engagements for the rest of us. So coming to the stage now, Dr. Donald D. Tolson Sr. He's an award-winning speaker, certified neuroagility practitioner, and founder of Speaking to Impact and Change, dedicated to empowering leaders to communicate with purpose, empathy, and civility. He's speaking to us on the topic today, reinforcements and the impact on your self-esteem. Dr. Donald Tolson, the stage is yours.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Cheryl, so much for that. You know, it was the late Dr. Miles Monroe who once stated that the greatest tragedy in life He said that it is not death, but he said that the greatest tragedy in life is living a life without purpose. Let me ask you a question to those that's on this call right now, they're listening in. When you talk to yourself, yes, it's called the inner voice. Are you your biggest cheerleader or are you your toughest critic? That's something to think about, right? Do you know your purpose? And do you understand the value that you possess? I want you to take just a second and just think about what I just said. You see, every day we enforce something with our thoughts, right? With our words, with our habits. We either build ourselves up, or guess what? We're constantly tearing ourselves down. Now, this afternoon on this call right now, I want to talk to you about reinforcement. Not the kind that show up with backup and with armor, right? Like a SWAT team, but the kind that lives inside your mind and it shapes your self-esteem. Because whether you rise or you face your fear and retreat in life, like so many of us do, including myself, it often depends on the reinforcement that you allow to speak the loudest in your life. You know, I remember back in 1974, and I know I am telling my age, right? And I was listening to the radio. This is WJMR 99.7 on your FM dial. The hit makers, the Jackson 5, had just scored another all-time hit with their song Dancing Machine. She's a dancing, 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 dun, dun, dun. She's a dancing machine. That year was 1974. Dun, 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 dun. Breaking news. President Richard Nixon had just been indicted as the 37th president of the United States. That year was 1974. I'm not that old, right? However, this had a different meaning for me. You see, I was an 8-year-old student sitting in my teacher, Mrs. Brown, third grade class, and she had given the class an assignment to deliver a presentation in front of the class. How rude was that, right? But during recess, I went to Mrs. Brown and I said, with my voice shaking and with my knees knocking, I said, Mrs. Brown, I said, please don't put me in front of the room. She looked at me and she said, why not? I said, Mrs. Brown, I have a speech impediment. I stutter. She said, young man, it's okay. You would do great. Now, after recess, Mrs. Brown said, Tosin, you're up. With my heart pounding and with my hands sweaty, as I walked to the front of the room, a fellow student said, hey, here comes the stutterer. And the class erupted into laughter. And know what even worse? I believed him. See, some of us are afraid to face our fears and come to the front of the room. Now, standing in front of the classroom, with my knees knocking, with my hands trembling, and my heart racing, I said, and I froze. And I ran from the room. Mrs. Brown, she came and she found me sitting on the stairs and I was crying. She held my face in her hand and she said, Tosin, one day you're going to become a phenomenal speaker. But guess what? I continued stuttering. Not just for a season, but for the next 38 years. And it wasn't until I found the courage to take action. You know, it was Winston Churchill who once said that courage is facing your fears over and over again without losing enthusiasm. But one Monday night, one evening, I was reading through the local paper and I came across this article that said Toastmasters. Now, I didn't know what Toastmaster was. In fact, I thought Toastmaster was a drinking club. I was going to go down and have me a buy one, get one free. But as I sat there in that meeting, I listened to some phenomenal presentations. I took part in what they call table topics, which is impromptu speaking. And I listened to some speaker evaluations, and I was just blown away. That evening, I joined Toastmasters. But also that evening, I sat in my car as I watched everyone to go as they went to their prospective cities or their homes. And I sat there and I said, you mean all these years I did not have to feel embarrassed about my speech impediment because I stuttered? You see, for years, that struggle became my silent battle. I reinforced the wrong message that maybe I wasn't meant to speak. Maybe I didn't have a voice. Maybe my voice didn't matter. Maybe I didn't matter. But here's the truth I had to learn. It wasn't my stutter holding me back. It was my story about my stutter. You see, every time I said to myself, oh, you can't do this. Oh, you're not good enough. You're not going to be a speaker someday. I was reinforcing failure. But you see, that day that I said, you can do this. You will do this. You must do this. And what happened is that I started reinforcing faith. That's when the transformation began. And through Toastmasters, through mentors, through moments where I failed forward, I learned to replace the voice of doubt with the voice of belief. And now, as I'm here with you right now, the same voice that once trembled now teaches others how to stand tall and to speak with confidence and with clarity. That's the power of reinforcement. Do something for me right now. Think of one negative phrase you've said about yourself this week, this day. Now replace it with a positive declaration. And I want you to say it with me right where you are. Say, I am enough. I am capable. My voice matters. What happened? What just happened? You just created a new reinforcement. And if you keep doing that daily, your mindset will follow your message. So here's what I want you to remember. Reinforcements are built daily. Every thought you think, every word you repeat becomes the bricks that build your self-esteem. Now, if you tell yourself you're not enough, long enough, guess what will happen? You'll start to believe it. But if you start saying, I am capable, I am worthy, I am growing, I am enough, then those words will begin to reconstruct your self-belief. Listen to your external voices because your external voices do matter. Surround yourself with people who don't just see your potential, but they speak to your potential and they speak to you. You see, the people you spend the most time with are either doing two things. You're feeding your fears or they're fueling your faith. And the beautiful thing about reinforcement is this. You get to choose who and what you allow to build on the inside of you. So here's your challenge today. And please feel free to write this down. Audit your reinforcements. What thoughts, habits, or relationships are shaping your self-esteem? You see, if it doesn't build you, guess what it's doing? It's breaking you. I want you to speak life daily. And write that down also. Speak life daily. Make positive self-talk a discipline, not a coincidence. Say what you want to become, not what you're afraid of being. The third thing is surround yourself with growth-minded people. That's why you're here today. Join a club. Join a mastermind or a community like GSU. There's truly no place like GSU. I'm talking about Global Speaker University, where others help you strengthen your confidence, not silence your confidence. Because you see, when you reinforce your worth, that's what happened. you rewrite your identity. As I look back on my journey from a young boy to a man who studied for over 38 years to someone who now speaks around the world to inspire others, I've learned this simple truth. The voice that has the greatest power to build or to break your self-esteem, it isn't the one out there. No, no, no. It's the one in here, in your heart. So choose words that lift action that align and people who affirm your purpose. Because when you reinforce greatness, guess what's going to happen? Greatness must respond. This is Dr. Donald D. Tolson Sr., and I thank you, Dr. Cheryl and GSU, for this great opportunity. Thank you.
Come on, y'all. Give it up for GSU member, alumni, Dr. Donald D. Tolson Sr. He did that. Can y'all type that in the chat? He did that. That was so good. Thank you so much for the reminders. And I'm gonna tell you something. I don't play about time, but I also don't play about not cheering for me. Y'all see this? Oh, baby, these always nearby. I got pom pom. Hold on, they ain't all I got. I got clappers. Hold on, I got more than one. Where's my other one? Hold on, I got more than one clapper. Oh, I'm always clapping for myself. Always. And so that's so important because if not, what happens is our minds tend to default to the negative. Like there are studies that show that we have between 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day, but up to 80% of those thoughts are defaulted to negative until we rewire. That means you got to hack in and rewire that internal talk. As Dr. Donald said, it's not a lot of times not the external, it's what's going on inside. So thank you for such powerful reminders, storytelling, just so well done. We appreciate you so much. I know that they're giving you all kind of love in the chat.
Thank
He
you.
did that. Yes, he did. Congratulations. Job well done. Whew. Y'all, can we just take a moment? I am actually going to, let me see if I can put this slide up. I don't think it lets me do it the full slide. Oh, what do you guys, oh, you'll tell me in a minute because it's not up yet. I see it's blank. We're about to go into our final session for this afternoon. And then we'll be doing our dinner break from 5:30 to 6:30. I hope your cup is full already, just on day one, even in spite of all the craziness. Y'all, we kept it moving. We are not going to be stopped. Let me see if I can share what I want to share. Hang on. Okay, let's go here. Okay, so I want to play this. This song here is about, I'll tell you exactly how, it's about 4 minutes. And yes, this is applicable to all, my brothers, I want you to find yourself in the song. But we have overwhelmingly so many women who come and participate in SpeakerCon. I just thought this song right here, as we start to transition into the final session for this afternoon before dinner, I just want to play this. I want to give you, all of you, and especially my team, an opportunity to breathe and just be still for a moment and receive this because you are about to be poured into even more.
Yeah.
I want you to hear the words.
Yeah. Listen up. This one's for the queens who rise from the ashes, healing scars and building castles, protecting peace, setting boundaries, walking in their power unapologetically. Queen energy only, no space for less. Too blessed to be stressed. Let's get it. Been through storms, now I'm walking in the sunlight. Dark days, long nights, now I fight right. Used to hide behind smiles, pain out of sight. Now I wear my truth, draped in fearless light. Said no to the noise, no love for the fake. Released all the weight I ain't meant to take. My heart learned lessons that money can't teach. Now I soar with grace far beyond their reach. I don't bend, don't fold, I evolve. Stepping my boundaries ain't no problem to solve. If you can respect me, I need your soul. My peace first, watch me resolve. Queen energy, steady on the throne, yeah. Healing got me glowing, but I'm moving on my own, my own. These lockdown tight, I can't feel the noise. Set my rules, hold my space, cause healing is my choice. Queen energy, No room for the fake. Boundaries like karma. I don't break or shake. No, no. I sing every moment, holding all my glory. This is my kingdom, queen energy only. Talking about book, I'm bloom, no delay. Turn my pain to power every single day. Forgave myself, put the past away. I'm the boss of my life, here to stay. No toxic vibes, I cut them loose. Love myself first, that's my truth. From the roots of my curls to my soul's juice. I'm manifesting blessings, I'm on the move. I've been broken, I've been bruised, but every scar's a story, not a wound. I'm learning to trust my own truth. This healing process, it's my proof. Daddy told me, baby, know your value. Now I'm the CEO, steady building value. Self-care ain't selfish, it's survival. Protect your energy, avoid the rival. When they doubt, I don't shout, I just
Listen to the
flow.
words, y'all.
Peace and power is all I know. From silent prayers to loud applause. I'm healing, evolving, rewriting laws. I don't bend, don't mold, I evolve. Set my boundaries, ain't no problem to solve. If you can't respect me, I dissolve. My peace first, watch me resolve. Queen energy, steady on my throne, yeah. Healing got me glowing, but I'm moving on my own. Peace up down tight, I don't answer to the noise. Set my rules, hold my space, 'cause healing is my choice. Queen energy, no room for the fake. Boundaries like karma. I don't break or shake, no, no. Rising every moment, holding all my glory. This is my kingdom, queen energy on. I am a queen, born to rise. Crown on my head, truth in my eyes. Protect my peace, guard my space. Boundaries firm, move with grace. I don't shrink, I shine, I glow. Healing in waves, I let it flow. I speak my truth, I own my name. I'm not here to please, I'm here to claim. I walk in purpose, I lead with heart. I've been through fire, and that's my art. I'm soft and strong, divine my birth. My love's not cheap, I know my worth. I rise each day, despite the pain, turning my scars into royal gain. I choose myself, and that's okay. Queen energy only, every day. I'm worthy, I'm whole.
Hey.
I protect my peace like gold. My boundaries strong, my bow. I'm healing, I'm growing. Every scar's a story, I'm showing. My light keeps glowing, keep glowing. I'm free, I'm me, unshakable, rooted deep. My soul runs deep, I rise, I fly. Clean energy, reaching the sky, no limits, no lie. Feel that heartbeat. Feel that power, crowning self-love in this final hour. Queen energy only, rise up, don't fold. Every chapter shines, every truth be told. Peace in my steps, strength in my story. Walking tall in all my glory. No more shadows, only light and meaning. Queen energy, only forever reigning. Feel it in your bones, own your crown. This is our time, let no one bring you down.
Yes.
Queen energy only.
Was that beautiful or what? I am going to make sure I type in the chat the name of that artist for any of you guys who want to pull that song up or you want to add that like to your playlist. Like when I love words. I'm just a huge proponent of words and the power of words and what they can do to our soul. Like, what did you hear? Was there anything you heard in that? Like, I was writing the words down as she was singing them. No toxic vibes. I heard owning all my glory. Every scar is a story. Come on, protect my peace. Healing is my choice. She said, I don't shrink, I shine. I know my worth. I walk in purpose. She said, I forgive myself. And sometimes we can't move forward because we still punishing ourselves for the things we did, the mistakes that we made, not realizing you are who you are because of everything that you've been through. Every mistake, every failure, every setback, every oops, like that is supposed to be a part of your story. And what did we say earlier? And what did we say have been saying since last night? Your story is about you, but it's not for you. And so if you strip away the shame that might be attached to certain parts of your story, it makes you more powerful. And then you get to stand with your feet firmly grounded, knowing, yes, I have value to add to a certain segment of the population. Not everyone will hear my voice. And that's okay, because how many people on the planet? 8.2 billion. I can't serve all. But I do want to come into alignment with the people who have been praying that I would show up. I want to come into alignment with the people who, when they hear my voice, something shifts inside of them. There's something ignited where they don't want to stay the same. They don't want to play small anymore. They want to play bigger. They want to play all out. Like, have you ever been in those environments? I'm hoping this is one of those environments that's just doing something inside of you. And maybe it's a little confusing because you're like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't expect to feel like this. But I constantly put myself in those spaces, in those environments, because I like feeling like a kid in the candy store. Like, oh my God, like as an adult, 51, the big age of 51. Like sometimes we get so serious and we only think about the things that are our responsibilities and we stop dreaming about our possibilities. But you have permission to do both. Yeah, I have responsibilities as a wife, as a mother with 3 teenagers. Pray for me. All of that. But I also have possibilities, because at the end of the day, I am a woman before I'm a wife. I'm a woman before I'm a mother. I am a woman before I'm anything else. I am a woman that was assigned a unique fingerprint to make a unique and distinct imprint on this world that will never, ever be felt again. This is my time. We say that so often, but do you understand how deep that really goes? This is your time. This is your moment. Most of us here are of a certain age. And all of us, regardless of what age you are, we're all going that way. We're not going backwards in time. And as oftentimes people will say, you have more days, less days in front of you than behind you oftentimes. And so you have to acknowledge that this is your time. This is your time to make impact. This is your time to touch lives and transform lives. This is your time to do the things that you want to do. When I walked away from my corporate job, that I had been sitting at that desk for 14 years as a legal secretary, getting that $75,000, I was terrified about the thought of walking away. I was like, wait a minute, this is not what they told us. My mama told me, girl, you get a good job. You a brown girl from the hood. You get you a good job and you hold on to that job until retirement or until they kick you out the door. You don't shake the boat. You don't rock the boat. Especially as a brown girl who didn't have money in the bank. I didn't have a college degree. Like all these things seemed like they were strikes against me, but in actuality, it was up to me to claim power over the things that seemed like they were strikes against me. What did they say? 3 strikes and you're out. And I felt like that is what people, they put that on me. But I don't claim that. I am the director of Cheryl's story. You are the director of your story. You get to direct it. You get to produce it. You get to turn the page and write a new chapter, even if you didn't like the last chapter. Like, this is your life. You got to make some decisions. And sometimes the decisions are going to be hard. Sometimes the decisions are going to be scary. When I walked away from that corporate job, my husband was looking at me like, well, hold on, wait a minute. Hold up now. I don't know about anybody here. My husband was like, wait a minute, wait. When I married you, you had a job and benefits. I don't understand what this is. You changing the game now. So I was scared and he was scared and we weren't sure what was going to manifest. But here's what I did know. Here's what I committed to in my heart, that I would not still be sitting at that desk 5 years later. That I would not still be complaining about the life that I wanted, but not doing anything about the life that I wanted. And when I started, I didn't know that speaking was going to be the path. I didn't even know, I wasn't even aware that I had a story that people wanted to hear until I opened myself up to the opportunity to discover it. Sometimes it's the yes. That's what we've been talking about today. Sometimes it's the yes that you give that will unveil the opportunity that's been waiting for you. See, so often we think that we're waiting on God to drop the blessing in our lap. Oh, and we praying and waiting and waiting. And God's like, oh, you waiting on me? Oh no, I was waiting on you to show how much you really wanted it. I was waiting on you to take some steps. I was waiting on you to show how bad you wanted it, how much you believe in it. I was waiting on you to see how much you were willing to sacrifice, and then I will bless it. But I can't bless something that you haven't started, you haven't launched, you aren't even pursuing. You're not even in pursuit of it. You just praying about it because you think I'm going to do all the work. That's not how God works. Faith without works is dead. You can have all the faith you want, all the prayers. You can have a prayer closet on every floor in your house. But if you're doing nothing after you get up off your knees from praying, you're doing nothing in alignment with it. You just going to every vision board party every January 1st or January 15th or whenever you go, and you putting more stuff. And how many times are you going to put the same thing on the vision board? A vision board is meant to evolve. We understand that, right? A vision board is not meant to stay the same. It is meant to evolve. And if you are really honest with yourself, it shouldn't take you 12 months for it to evolve. Now, there are going to be some long-term things that you're going to work on that might take you 12 months, but you better believe there should be some things on your vision board that you're taking off. You're untacking from the board, or you're scraping that glue off, or however you adhered it to that board. There should be some things you got to rip off of there because there are things that you're going to replace it with, because I've already done that. But too often we get into this space and we get pumped up and fired up about January 1st. And oh yeah, that's a new year. How many of y'all have said that? Yes and yes in the chat. You January 1st coming, you just fired up. You're like, oh, new year, new me. They don't even, what we do the other night, they don't even know. They don't even understand what's about to happen. And you go into that mode and you're excited and you're putting all of this stuff on your vision board. And by February, March, you have forgotten what you wanted for you. And so we're here because we want to remind you to tap back into you. You, the woman, before the wife, before the mom, before you, the man, before the husband, before the dad, before all the things, all the other things. At the end of the day, even as a husband, even as a father, a son, a brother, even as a wife, a mother, a sister, a caregiver, whatever it is, you still have permission to make sure that you create an imprint that is undeniable and unforgettable. Undeniable and unforgettable. That is the assignment that I'm on every day that I'm here. And it's not because I just want people saying my name when I'm long gone from this place. I want to know that I left something inside of people that causes them to go out and play a bigger game. There are so many clients here. They're here. You'll hear from some in a little while, in about maybe 40 minutes or so. And they'll talk to you about how they felt before they work with me and what's happened and what's shifted since working with me. And they'll talk about the transformation that's happened internally in order for it to exude externally. And they'll talk about some of the fears they had. They'll talk about some of the doubts and the hesitations. And again, it ain't supposed to be easy. Divine alignment and connection is easy. But purpose is always going to require. You've got to put something into it. You've got to give something up for it. You've got to get back up from something that knocks you down on the journey. And then you got to complete something. Did y'all catch all 4 of those? I hope somebody did. I hope somebody going to transcribe that in the chat. And that's ongoing. And as soon as you accomplish a goal, it's not the end. The thing that is not growing is dying. It is just the beginning. That accomplishing that goal showed you what you were capable of. But do you remember when you thought you weren't? How many of you have accomplished something in the past 11 months of 2025 that maybe you questioned in 2024 if you were going to be able to accomplish it, if you were going to be able to pull it off? And you did. But it didn't stop there. Because now it's like, okay, well, now I'm capable of that. The question should be, what else am I capable of? Not, oh, yeah, I can sit back and relax now. No, the thing that is not growing is dying. We always want to be on the side of growth. And so I want to shift this, and I really want to focus more on continuing our conversation from earlier, because so many of you typed in the chat earlier today that one of the things you wanted to do was you wanted to be better at speaking. And that's the journey that I'm here to share with you, to answer your questions, to be able to help guide you. For those of you who are serious about it. Now, how many of you know there is a difference? Type a 1 in the chat if you know there's a big difference between interested in and committed to. Type a 1 in the chat if you understand the difference between this is something I'm interested in versus this is something I'm committed to. See, I wasn't just interested in speaking. I was committed to changing my life. Big difference. It just happened that speaking was really the caveat, the thing that ushered me into being able to transform my life. It was the thing that catapulted me into this version of who I am and this life that I get to experience, and publishing books and getting on stages and going internationally and hosting international conferences. And some of the things that we're going to do in 2026 is new and exciting, and it ignites something in me again where I feel like a kid in a candy store, and I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose excitement for what I do. And so I'm always creatively putting in my space and myself in a space with other creatives because I want my creative juices to be flowing. And then I want to dare myself. I want to challenge myself. Cheryl, what else can you do? How else can you help serve other people? Where have you been holding off on? And maybe it was an idea in the back of your mind, but you haven't executed it yet because you're that scared of it. That's the thing I want you to pursue. Not the thing that you can easily type in this chat. Because I could right now say, well, what's your goal? What you want to do? Type something in the chat you want to accomplish. And some of you would type it in very quickly, but you probably could type it in very quickly because it's easy. Or at least it's easier than the thing that you don't type. What's the thing that you won't type yet? You won't put in the chat. You won't say out loud because there's a fear, an underlying fear that I'm not sure if I can actually do that. I want you to think about that. And I want to put up a poll, which I'm hoping will work, because I want to poll. Let's see if I can pull it up. And you'll be able to see the poll in just a moment. And the question is this: what is the next step that you need to take to become a masterful speaker and make your voice truly count? Now, there are 6 options. I want you to click the one that is most closely connected to where you are. Okay, so I'm going to launch it, and you should be able to, all of you should be able to click it and just whatever your top one is. Now, it could be multiple ones, but it will only allow you one answer. It should only allow you one answer. So let's see. Did that come up for everybody? Okay, great. So I'll give you 20 seconds to select what is the next step that you personally, don't think about anybody else in this room. Don't compare yourself to anybody. I know you need a couple seconds to read all the options. Pick the one that is your best next step. Like if I can get this thing started, this thing moving, I feel like I'll be moving in the right direction. Okay, we have some responses coming in. This is completely anonymous, so it doesn't tell me who's typing in what. That's the beautiful thing about these polls. You can be absolutely honest, which is what we want you to be. We want you to answer it honestly. Okay, I see the numbers coming in. I'm going to give you 30 more seconds, and then I'm going to close the poll out. And once I close the poll out, I will not be able to open it back up. We have about 66% of the participants here who have answered the question. So if you want your response to be included, go ahead and do that now. You got about 15 seconds. Okay, good. We're up to 69% participation. Fantastic. We love when we get as close to 100% participation as possible. All you have to do is click the one that applies most to you. We do not see the responses, who it is. We don't see that. All right. We're about to close in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now I'm going to end the poll. Oh, there we go. I can share the results. Yay. Does it show you the results? Okay. So our biggest chunk comes under 41% is I need to increase my visibility and get more speaking opportunities. 41%, overwhelmingly. The second category that had the highest percentage, 21%, I need to clarify my message and define my signature story. And then we have 3 categories that were tied. I need to strengthen my stage presence and delivery skills. I need to learn how to monetize my message and build a speaking business. And I need mentorship, accountability, and community to stay consistent. And then our final one was I need to build confidence. So number one is I need to increase my visibility and get more speaking opportunities. Thank you so much for, let me close this out, for responding to that poll, for all of you who participated. And that's good to know, because that allows us to be able to support you in a way that really allows you to elevate and grow. We don't want to give you what we think you need. Like, that doesn't serve anybody well. And you should do the same thing with your clients. Don't give them what you think what they want. Give them what they actually need and what they're actually asking for. And so as we continue to think about that and using your voice, which is, again, we're only on the first V of that wheel, that 8-part wheel. We're going to continue this evening. We're going to continue tomorrow morning. I want you to remember this. This is such a profound statement. Manifestation begins the moment procrastination ends. I'm going to say that again. Manifestation begins the moment procrastination ends. And so all of us, we could procrastinate for whatever reason. But while you're creating excuses, somebody somewhere in the world is executing with your same or very similar circumstances. While you're still telling yourself why it's not the right time, the perfect time, everything's not lined up. The stars haven't lined up yet for me to get on stages. The stars haven't lined up yet for me to be visible and get more speaking opportunities. Well, guess what? While you are sitting in that space, that toxic declaration that you've made for yourself and created comfort around for yourself, there is somebody somewhere in the world with the same circumstance as you. They're a single parent, or they're recently divorced, or they lost everything financially, or they're working a full-time job where they're trying to build the business, the speaking business. There is somebody somewhere who has your exact same circumstances, but they are choosing to say, I will not stay stuck and stagnant. I must create movement. I must create momentum. I will not be the same person 12 months from now as I am today. And I certainly will be barely recognizable in the next 2 to 5 years. Because of the information that I consume, because of the people I put myself in proximity to, because of the effort that I put in, because of the investments that I make in myself, both time and financial investments. How are you going to show up different for you so that people barely recognize you in the next 12 months, 24 months? And I want you to walk away with these 7 powerful I am affirmations. Yes, affirmations work. And I know sometimes it feels like it's just so fluffy and it's like, look, I don't have time for that. I got to do this and I got to do that. I ain't got time to be saying no affirmations. You might want to make time to say affirmations. Why? Because it's not just the affirmation. It's what the affirmation is doing inside of you. You can never show up as the best version of you, the version of you that people want to be led by, the version of you that people want to sit and come to a conference from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and listen to you. You can't become that version of you unless you're speaking into you consistently. That's why I keep the pom-poms, right? Always cheering for me. That's why I keep the clappers around, always cheering for me. Couple reasons why. Because number one, there's going to be some times where there's nobody else around to cheer for me, and I've got to know how to speak life into me. And then there are going to be some times when people start clapping for you, and then you exceed what their expectation was for who you were going to become, and they no longer have the bandwidth and the capacity to clap for you. And their clappers go down, but yours can't go down. Yours have to stay up. And you need that encouragement. You need that reminder. And sometimes, again, we talked about this yesterday, we're so busy being humble. I know, I was the humble girl. I'm still humble, but I am also powerful in his name. See, I know that I'm coming as a vessel. Every time I take a platform, every time I take a stage, every time I do a virtual one, I understand where it's being downloaded from. I understand where the pouring is coming from, and I don't have to have a script. I'm clear. or where that's coming from. I'm being used as a vessel to transform other people's lives, and nobody gets to negate that. And I certainly am not going to allow myself to negate it. And sometimes we pursue things, or we're in pursuit of things, and it's not happening as fast as we want it to, and we get discouraged. And now we think, oh, the most negative, toxic things we could think. Oh, my voice isn't needed. No, nobody's hiring me. Okay, hire yourself. You hear what I'm saying? The reason you're talking to Dr. Cheryl Wood today is because Dr. Cheryl Wood was a vehicle in motion. What did I say that they do with vehicles that are parked on the side of the road and not that they've been sitting there? If there's a car out front of my house that's been sitting there too long, guess who I'm calling? The tow yard. There's a car out here. It ain't got no tags. I don't know who it is. It don't belong. Come get this junk off the road. Do you want to be categorized as the junk that's on the side of the road because you're not in movement? Whew. No, I will be in movement. I will be in motion. And then people want to be on the bandwagon. People don't want to be connected to people who ain't going nowhere, doing nothing. You ain't investing in nothing. You're doing nothing but sitting on a wish and a prayer and a hope that somebody will drop an opportunity into your lap. It doesn't work that way. You becoming the greatest version of you, you accomplishing every dream that you have, you being able to touch lives and travel globally, or however you want to serve the world, you being able to launch the movement is all dependent on you. And you cannot teach other people how to do the thing you've never done. That's why investing in yourself is so important. And we're going to give you some opportunities to invest in yourself. And what we'll do is we're going to do this. We're going to open our hands. And we're going to offer you an invitation. Y'all see how I did that? We're going to open our hands and we're going to offer you an invitation. Now tell me in the chat, what happens when someone gives you or offers you an invitation? Even if it's to a wedding or a baby shower or a bridal shower, you have one of two options. What are the two options? Somebody tell me in the chat. When you get an invitation to anything, what are the options? I'm going to wait for y'all to talk to. Come on, Dr. Donald. Come on, Erica. Yeah, you get to accept or you get to decline. I don't accept every invitation I get to a wedding or a party or an event or whatever, networking. I don't accept all of them, but I kindly decline. I won't be making it this time. And that's what you get to do. When we share with you how we can help you elevate, how we can help you to become more visible, how we can help you get on more stages, how we curate the stages that you will be on. We're going to offer that to you. We're going to give you an invitation because it would not be fair of us not to serve you at that high level and not offer you that invitation. I will never forget this. And I need you guys to hear this, especially those of you who are already in business. And yesterday we talked about the people who are kind of afraid of selling and all that. I will never forget, I was probably midway into my speaker journey, and I flew from Maryland to Atlanta to go to a conference. And I was so excited to go to this conference. Now, at this conference, there were all these heavy hitters, including Magic Johnson. What's the lady who owned the Sweetie Pies? I can't remember her name. It was like all these heavy hitters, right? These big names who had these big brands. And I was so excited, but I was not excited just because I was going to get to hear Magic Johnson speak and all these, like that was cool. The person I was there to connect with was the host and the visionary of the event. And I won't call out her name, but I admired her work in the world. I admired the people that she was connected to and how she was showing up and all of her accomplishments. And I could see myself in her. So I paid for my pricey ticket. I paid for my flight. I paid for my hotel, and I went and I was ready. Anybody ever been ready? Like I was ready because I knew she was going to be offering a program and I was ready. I came there for that. So we go through the conference, get to hear Magic Johnson. He was amazing. And then the young lady comes on stage and she, says some words and speaks and whatever. And I'm like, yes, I can't wait. I can't wait. What's she about to offer? Yes. Wallet is in hand, baby. Credit card is ready to swipe. And she offered nothing. Nothing. Do you understand how disappointed I was? Do you understand how discouraged I was? Because in my mind, she was my next step in the journey. I'm going to say that again. I need you to hear me. Somebody's looking at you right now thinking you're the next step in their journey. But you've got to be more visible. You've got to get on more stages. You've got to master the art of what your story is. You've got to get more speaking opportunities. You have to say yes to investing in you so that you can become that version of you that they are ready with the wallet in hand and the credit card in hand, and they're ready for you to offer it. I remember leaving and I kept asking people. I said, wait, did she make did I miss the offer? I mean, I was baffled. That's what I came there for, so that I could be under her tutelage. And I was ready for the VIP. How many of y'all, just tell me, is it just me? Don't give me no general admission, nothing. I don't want no general. I don't want the VIP ticket. Anybody else like me? Is it just me? I want VIP, y'all. I wanted the VIP package that she had. I was ready with the credit card in hand. And I kept asking, and I kept asking, and I kept asking. It was like, no, she didn't offer nothing this year. And I went back home feeling like I was stuck, because what I thought and who I thought was going to usher me into my next step didn't even offer anything. How many people are you doing that to? Because you're not showing up, because you're still convincing yourself that everybody else has greatness, but you don't, because you're not getting on platforms and sharing your story. Critical. It's critical that you show up and you offer to the world. You give them an invitation that this is what I have to help you live some element, some aspect of your life better, happier, more fulfilled. Here's the invitation. And then they get to choose yes or no. I want in or no, not right now, or maybe, or whatever. And you don't ever have to worry about trying to coerce people. You're not in the coercion business. However, you do persuade. What's the difference? Coercion feels like it's forced. Anybody ever been on a car lot and you just pulled in? You be like, dang, they running out the door. Anybody? Like, they run into like, man, could I park first? Could I even get fully on the lot? And you already know what it is. So you don't want to feel like that person, but you do want to persuade. And persuasion means you understand the value of what it is that you offer, and you are able to not only understand it, but you are able to articulate it in a way that is confident, that's clear, and that's filled with conviction. My husband used to be a car salesman, and he's not a slimy guy, thank God. He didn't stay in that profession very long. But one of the things he said, I could sell cars, not because I was sleazy, not because I forced people, but because I knew everything about the car. So I could talk from a place of knowledge. That's how I feel when I serve people. It's not a whole lot you can tell me about the speaking business that's going to stump me. Now, maybe there's a certain industry that's not really my area of expertise in that industry, that particular lane. I'm not on the college circuit. But that doesn't mean that everything that I'm not going to teach you is going to help you to get booked on the college circuit. So none of us know everything, but you've got to know what your lane of brilliance is. And for me, this is it, speaking. So I want you to affirm for yourself these affirmations. Number one, I am no longer hiding my light to make others feel comfortable. That's number one. I am no longer hiding my light to make other people feel comfortable. Number two, I am, all of these are I am, walking, breathing proof that healing is possible. From all the stuff you thought you couldn't be healed from. And the more you share it and the more you speak up about it, the more you help other people, the healing just evolves to a whole nother level. I am walking, breathing proof that healing is possible. Number three, I am what resilience looks like, Angela Williams. I am what resilience looks like when it chooses to rise again. Woo, come on. Yes. I am what resilience looks like when it chooses to rise again. Number four, I am a mirror of hope for every person still finding their way back to themselves. That means you're a reflection. And the people that you are a reflection to, they want to be under your tutelage. They want to learn from you. They want to grow with you. They want to know, how do I get out of this place and get to the next level? I am a mirror of hope for every person still finding their way back to themselves. Number 5, I am proof that what tried to break me built something even stronger. Let me get the clapper out on that one. Come on. That. I am proof that what tried to break me built something even stronger. And maybe it was something stronger you didn't even anticipate or expect, but here you are standing as a victor, a conqueror, a warrior over the thing that maybe when you were going through it, you thought it was going to break you. Maybe you felt like you couldn't fight anymore. You felt like you were going to throw in the towel, but here you are. You didn't throw in the towel. You worked that resilience muscle. You bounced back. And you didn't bounce back as the same person. You bounced back stronger than you were before. There's a story in that. There's healing in that. There's hope in that that will help someone else. It's called making your life bigger than you. You are not the only person who is meant to be healed and get freedom and peace from your story. I'm going to repeat that. You are not the only person who is meant to get healing and hope and freedom and peace from your story. The story is about you, but it's not for you. Last two, number 6, I am divinely equipped to turn my wounds into wisdom and my story into strength. Divinely equipped. I am divinely equipped to turn my wounds into wisdom and my story into strength. And number 7, I am not who I was. I am who I decided to be. Doesn't that just take all the power away from everything that tried to break you? Shame, embarrassment, failure, mistakes. When you got knocked down and didn't know how you were going to get back up, I am not who I was. I am who I decided to become. Every one of you, you get to root yourself in that belief. Stand up in it firmly. Like, you know, the kids used to say, pop your collar. I don't think they say that no more. They probably some other no saying now, but you got to really know that there's something of value that you bring to other people. And so tonight, in just a few moments, I'm actually going to have a few of my clients come on and just share their success story. And it's not just from a perspective of hearing their success story. I want you to look for yourself in them. I want you to see you in them. Because I think it's important that we have examples of other people who felt just like you might feel. Like, okay, I hear you, but... And sometimes we doubt and we question until we get in proximity to the right people. You are in the right environment with other warriors, conquerors. You're in the right environment to shift your thinking and your mindset, to develop abundance mindset, not scarcity mindset, not lack. We don't operate in lack. Everything that I've done, y'all, has been a risk. Everything that I've done has been a risk that terrified me. I did not become Dr. Cheryl Wood, who got to walk away from that freaking full-time corporate job. I did not become this version of me because I sat and I played safe on the sidelines. Everything I've done has been terrifying. And most of the things that I've done, I've had to put something up before I ever got anything from it. I've had to put it in before I ever got anything from it. I've had to invest and hope that I would get the return on the investment later. I will never forget. I got to share this story. I don't think I've ever shared this story before. I remember when I hosted my first Playtime is Over women's business conference. Anybody here been around long enough to know about Playtime is Over business conference? Give me a yes in the chat, or a 1 or a 2. I don't care what you give me. Just give me something. Let me know you know about it. This was one of my first, it was my first multi-day conference. And I remember I wanted Mickey Taylor, who honestly at the time was like way out of my league, way out of my league in terms of I didn't have any real connections to get to her. And she was way out of my league financially. Anybody ever played so big? You were like, you know, girl, this is way out your league. Anybody other than me? Like, talk to me, y'all. Let me know. But my mind couldn't get off of wanting her. Now, does everybody know who Mickey Taylor is? Editor-at-large of Essence Magazine. She's a beauty icon. And I mean, she's so humble and powerful. And oftentimes to me doesn't talk enough about the things that she's done. I mean, she's worked with everybody from Beyonce to Rihanna to Rosa Parks to like you name it, she has done it. She tells the story of Black women. And I was like, I need to take my brand to the next level. And I just got stuck on, I want Mickey Taylor. And I don't know about you, but I want what I want. And I'll never forget, two things happened in that situation. I was able to reach out to somebody who did like marketing or something. I don't know. They weren't really like a speaker person, but they had a connection to a connection to a connection that knew Mickey Taylor, right? 4 times removed. And I was like, well, can you find out if she would be willing to take this budget right here? I already knew it was lower than what her normal budget was. Like, y'all ever done that? You know, you be like, girl, you just got your fingers crossed and you praying, you in the prayer closet praying, God, please let this person say yes. Please let her take this money, even though I know it's way lower than what she. And she said yes. The power of your yes to elevate someone else. She knew the power of her yes. And that's what I say to each and every one of you. You got to know the power of your yes. Yeah, we hear people talk about all the time, say no, tell some people no, tell somebody yes. Because the more you elevate others, the more you will be elevated. And so she said yes to the budget that I had, which was still out of my league. It was still out of my range, but I knew I could come up with it. Anybody here ever offer something, but you don't have it yet, but you gonna get it by the time you got to write the person the check? Okay, it was that type of deal. I wasn't making no real money yet. So I was like, okay, I got to breathe for this price, but I'm going to do it because she deserves at least that. I mean, I'm lucky she's giving me a break. And then here was the thing. This is how bad I wanted it. Not only did I go over my own budget that I didn't have, but I knew I was going to get it because I was going to work my butt off. I will never forget that I purchased her a first-class round trip flight. Why is that so significant? It is so significant because I had never even been on a first-class flight. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, I wanted it so bad that I was willing to invest in doing that for someone else, and I had never even experienced that. So I was willing to spend the money to bring somebody else first class, and I had never been in a first class seat. How bad do you want it? How much are you willing to put in to get something out down the road? Like, that didn't come on back of return on investment right away, immediately. But I was playing the long game. Like, okay, God, I know if I keep investing and I keep pouring and I keep giving and I keep serving and I'm integral and I'm honest and I over deliver and I this and I that everything is going to come back to me tenfold. And I didn't know when it was going to come back tenfold. And sometimes I was here eating beans and hot dogs while I was waiting for it to come back tenfold. But that's how bad I wanted it. That's how bad I wanted it. Every time I do something that's big, that dares me to play bigger, I'm always putting way more in before I ever get it back. But that's how bad I want it. And that's how much I know I am born for this work. Because if you are willing to put everything in, and I have been in places where I had 2 pennies in my pocket because I had invested everything else in. I'm going to host this conference, so I got to put up 60 grand to host the conference. That leave me with 2 pennies, but I believe so much in the conference, I'm going to do it. Or like I did a few years ago when I hosted the event with Lisa Nichols, Trent Shelton, and Gloria Mayfield Banks. It was one of the biggest events of my life. 3,000 people showed up in the room. But do you understand that that comes with a big cost? And I'm paying for everybody's first class flight, and I'm paying for everybody's first class 5-star hotel, and I'm paying for everybody's team members, and it was a big, big undertaking. Time, financial. And I was like, is this going to pay off? I don't know if it's going to pay off, but I can't afford not to take the risk and find out, will it pay off? I can't afford not to. That's how I live my life. Are you willing to function from that space? I can't afford not to put something in. I can't afford not to make the investment. I can't afford not to take the big risk that terrifies me, so that I can find out not only what I'm made of, but I can find out what's on the other side of the thing that scares me. And then when you do the thing, you be like, oh, shoot. And you look back, you be like, oh, I did that. And you look at the pictures and then you look at your bank account a little while, like, ooh, yeah, I did that. And you waiting for that to come back tenfold. But then you're already thinking about what's the next big risk? What's the next big investment? Because I understand that I have to keep putting in order to get back. So are you willing to put in time, energy, effort, blood, sweat, tears, sweat equity, y'all? Are you willing to commit to coming to class and learning? Are you willing to be coachable? That's one of the things I've had to do in my entire journey, be coachable. Like you don't come into anything with anybody, a program, and you come in like, then why did you invest in it? Be coachable and you will learn. So I'm coachable. I'm willing to invest in myself over and over and at a high level. And this is the point I wanted to make. It is not integral. It is never integral for you to have something on your list of things that you sell at a price point that which you have never invested. Ooh. Somebody needs to hear that. Don't you dare. Don't you dare have a $20,000 program that you're selling to people, but you've never invested $20,000. Don't you dare have a $10,000 program. Don't you dare have a $50,000 or $80,000 program and you ain't never invested that, because you don't even know what it takes to say yes. Which means, how can you relate to the people that you're asking to make that investment in what it is that you're selling, and you don't even know what it takes? You don't know how deep they have to dig inside of themselves to convince themselves to say yes, to take the risk, to take the chance. I'm going to place all bets on me. That takes courage. That takes tenacity. That takes a deep, deep belief in knowing that your voice matters and that you are the only person who will care enough to make it count. Because I promise you, you can come to this session, you can come to every session for the next few days. You can leave and go on about your happy business and do nothing but be inspired. You can leave here inspired, and that's great. But I promise, if you leave here and you decide to do nothing, nothing will happen. And nobody's coming and looking for you. I'm so sorry to tell you that. I'm so sorry to tell you that. Nobody's coming to look for you. Out of sight, out of mind. It is your choice to be visible. It is your choice to show up over and over and over and over again until they can't deny you. I started showing up when I first started speaking. I was everywhere, every networking event, anybody who needed a speaker. Yes, yep. My kid's school was looking for somebody for career day. Oh, I like to speak. Like anybody who needed a speaker. Oh, I was showing up. And after a while, what happens is people like, who is this chick? Like who is she? Who she is? Who? She everywhere. That was a running joke in my community. Cheryl Wood, who? I'll never forget. I got hired to speak as the commencement speaker for a high school graduation. It was my first time ever. And I felt it was like an out-of-body experience because they put the robe on me and the little sash thing. And remember, I didn't go to college. So it felt like I was a professor and I was their commencement speaker. And I remember hearing somebody whispering, who is she? Cheryl, who? You know her? I don't know her. You know her? I can hear you. I'm right here. I can hear you. But I didn't say that to them. What I said to myself in my mind and in my heart was, you about to find out who she is. You ain't know who she was, but you about to find out who she is. And I went in there and I did what I do. Spoke life into those kids. And the first thing I did was I connected with them on something that was important to them. You know what was important to them then? And it's still important to people, but it was really just starting to kick off. Selfies. So I had all those graduates get up out their seats. And I said, oh, y'all know we can't start this thing off without first taking a selfie. Come on up here to the stage. I had all of them on the floor. I was up high, but they were on the floor and I had them gather around. And here I am up on the stage like this. And taking selfies. And it just broke the ice. And so, yeah, you didn't know me, but you will. And every single one of you, you have to give yourself permission to show up that way. You don't know me yet, but you will after I take this stage. And that's not in an arrogant way. It's not an egotistical way. It's simply to say, you must not know the God I serve. You must not know. Like, I have always been the unlikely. That's why my new book coming out December 6th is called Turning Unlikely into Undeniable, because I have always been underestimated. I've always been the one that was overlooked, and you tried to make me feel invisible, but you don't understand the God I serve. He is always going to make sure I come out on top. He is always going to make sure he brings me in through the VIP entrance. Anybody know about the VIP entrance? God will never bring me in through general admission. Never. He never brings me in through general admission. So I get into rooms and I get into spaces, and I'm in spaces with 8-figure, 9-figure earners. And they're like, how'd she get here? And you can see the looks, because sometimes it's people that I know that had the opportunity to invite me into the space and didn't. Y'all understand that? Y'all understand that sometimes there are people who know you, know what you do, know what you're made of, know that you're a giant in the world, and have the opportunity to open the door for you and refuse. But that ain't none of your business. And so when when I get into the spaces, they're looking like, how did you get here? And I'm like, oh, I didn't come through general admission. No, I didn't come through the front door. Oh yeah, no, I came in through the back, the VIP entrance. Oh, you didn't know nothing about that? Oh, sorry. I have a God that I serve that takes me in through VIP because of the way that I serve. I serve with integrity. I serve from my heart and my soul. I serve wanting you to win so big, wanting you to see what you're capable of, wanting you to see that I see you. I see you, even when everybody else looks over you and around you and through you like you don't matter. Oh yeah, you matter. So you are talking to one unlikely woman to another. But God takes the unlikely and turns it into undeniable when you give him something to work with. And for 15 years, I've given God something to work with. That's it. I show up when I'm not sure how it's going to manifest. I show up when I'm scared. I invest when it's terrifying. I go to the places, I go to new spaces, and I put myself in proximity to people, and I listen and I learn. And I don't come in with ego. I come in coachable. And when I get knocked down, I cry my couple of tears. I give myself about 60 to 90 seconds to cry the tears and take off my lashes and the ugly cry that sometimes we have in business because people will do you dirty sometimes. And sometimes you invest and you don't get what you thought you was going to get, and you're crying because the money you just spent and all the stuff. And I could tell you stories for days for 15 years in the business. But what I can also tell you is I'm still here. Still standing, still doing the work, still showing up, still pouring into people's lives because it's the work that I've been called to do. So tonight after dinner, we're going to have some folks who are going to come on and they're going to give some spark talks. They're going to share their story. You do not want to miss this. So after we do this little break, after I bring a couple people to the front, I want to make sure that you know to be back here promptly at 7, because we're going to do the spark talks from 7 to 8. And then I'm going to do a closing masterclass this evening. And then we'll be done for today, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. But before we disperse, there are 2 things that I want to do. In just a moment, I'm going to call 3 people to the stage because I want them to share their experience with you as a part of where they were and where they've come. And some of them have literally experienced this transformation of their lives in just the past year, some of them past 2 years. But I want you to hear it from their mouths, their transformation. And then we break for dinner from 5:30 to 6:30. But how many of you know, and I need everybody to respond to this, how many of you expect that I'm going to offer you something to buy? How many of you expect that I'm going to offer you something that you can invest in? Give me a yes or a no in the chat. How many of you expect that I'm going to offer you something that you can invest in so that you can make the imprint that you want, make the impact that you want? You can start to share your story. You can start to become more visible. You can get on more stages. How many of you think I am going to do that? We got yes, 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 yes. Anybody else got an answer to that? Yes or no? Okay, so it looks like a lot of yeses. Well, I just want to tell you that I am not going to disappoint you. I'm going to make sure I don't disappoint you. And yes, I would not dare come and speak life into you and open your eyes to what's possible and not offer you a way to say yes to investing in yourself. So later this evening, at the closing, I'm actually going to share in detail one of the programs that we have available for those of you who know you're ready. But there are some of you who are here and we feel your energy. I feel your energy already, and I know that you're ready. I can just feel it. And so I want to give you an opportunity to kind of be the first to get a sneak peek at what I'm offering. So anyone who is interested in getting the sneak peek, I'm going to stick around for about 20 minutes right after this session. So basically from 5:30 to 5:50, I'm going to give you a sneak peek. Now I'm saying a sneak peek for those of you who you just know that you don't know what it is that I'm offering, but you know that you came here like I did for that young lady that I flew to Atlanta for, and there's one program that we have, and there are only 8 spots available. So I just want to make sure that we are able to align with the people who are really ready. You're ready for action. You're done talking about I should, I coulda, I woulda. Nope, that's not the life I live. That's not how I function. If I want it, I'm going to get it. And I'm going to make it happen. And we're looking for the people who are in that space. It is juicy. When I tell you it is juicy, for all of you, the 41%, I think it was, who said you wanted greater visibility, you wanted more stages, you want to be able to master your message and storytelling, baby, this is the creme de la creme. You hear what I'm saying? The creme de la creme. And I don't say that just because. And all of my clients can tell you how well I serve. And they're here. A lot of them are here. But if you want the sneak peek of it before I actually talk about it later, because potentially you want to lock in your spot before I offer it to everyone, and again tomorrow and again on Saturday, then you can join us. The team is going to drop in the chat a link. It's going to be a Zoom link. It's not connected to this Zoom events platform. It's a separate link. It's its own link. We're going to drop that in the chat for you to copy that and paste it into a separate Zoom window. And I'll just spend about 20 minutes. There we go. We just dropped it in the chat. So if you know that you want to be on the sneak peek, we'll do 20 minutes from 5:30 to 5:50 so that you'll still have 40 minutes for your dinner break. Okay. All right. With that said, I want to go ahead and I want to invite 3 amazing women, and I don't know who's running the behind the scenes. I don't know if it's Martina or someone else, but I'd love to, if we could all be on the screen at the same time. Lucille Reddick, who you all heard speak earlier, Brandy Tooks, and Vernita Stevens. If you are here, we're going to bring you to the stage and have a conversation. We got 2 of them. It's Vernita in the building. I think I saw her name. There she is. Yay. Hey, ladies. How y'all doing? Y'all got to unmute yourselves, or either the team has to unmute you. Somebody got to unmute you. I don't know who. Let me know when you're unmuted. Just give me a testing.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. So these are 3 amazing women. You heard Lucille speak earlier. They are powerhouses in their own right. And let me be clear, they were powerhouses even when they came to work with me. But I want you to hear from them some of the transformation that they've experienced in their journey over the past year or 2 working with me. And so I want to pose just 4 simple questions to each of you, and you each can give your own input. We have not rehearsed this. I don't know what they're going to say, so I'm hoping that it's good. The first thing is, before you started working with me, and I believe all 3 of you, yes, came through the GSU program, what was your biggest struggle or limitation, especially as it related to using your voice, sharing your story, and what's different about you now? So what was your biggest struggle or limitation related to public speaking, sharing your voice and your story, and what is different about you now? And you guys you can just take turns going.
Okay, I can jump it off.
Awesome.
All right. Dr. Cheryl, I got to know you. My first meeting of you was in 2021 at a
Mm.
different conference. I was writing a book, and I was part of the Book Prophets Club at that time, and you came and presented. And
Ah.
my husband heard you speak about you doing a book project with Les Brown. And I heard it too, but I was like, their prices, I don't know if I can do that. But unbeknownst to me, my husband went in the back,
Mm.
met with your team, handed over his credit card,
Come
Oh,
on.
wow. and signed me up.
Come
And
on.
he came back and told, it almost brought tears to my eyes. I was like,
Wow.
you did that for me? Because now my husband don't give his credit card up for a whole bunch of stuff now. But he did that for me. And it has been life-changing working with you all the time. I was around the periphery of your community at that time. Being a part of that book project opened up my eyes to so many different things, talking on your summit at that time. So your question was, how has working with you been? So it helped me craft my message. I don't have a traumatic story or anything like that. I speak on marriage and relationships.
Yep.
And I often thought at the beginning, like, I have a passion for that, but is anybody going to want to hear my message on that? And so
Mhm.
you have been able to help me make that message clearer, really give me the confidence that I needed to be able to share that message with other people. Because sometimes, I don't know if anybody else is like me, I felt like I had to have this traumatic story, like I ate out of trash cans, I was left homeless,
Right.
I don't know what I thought, but I thought I had to have this real traumatic story in order for my message to hit, and I didn't have that. But you
Mm.
let me know that it doesn't have to be traumatic and that I can bring my authentic self. I like to be funny.
Yep.
And lots of times I get into trouble with my speeches with you because I don't leave room for the chuckles, and people be laughing at the at the jokes and the chuckles, and then it runs my time over. But that has been my experience in working with you in the nutshell. I want to leave room for the other ladies, but it has been absolutely life-changing in order to have a framework to be able to have the confidence to craft my message and to be able to present that message in a meaningful way. Thank you.
Fantastic. I love it.
So I'll go next. So before working with you, Dr. Cheryl, anyone who knew me knew that. I'm hearing an echo.
I think it went away now.
Okay. Anyone who knew me knew that I had a huge fear of public speaking. Listen, if I could visualize my fear, it would be as big as my room right now. It was big. And I knew it was huge, and I knew it was a problem because I got assigned to a position. So I'm in the military, and I got assigned to a position, and I had 82 sailors who I was responsible for. And my biggest fear in that position wasn't, are we going to make goal? It wasn't any of that. It wasn't work related. The nerve-wracking part was I, at some point, would have had to get everybody together and speak to them.
Mm.
And I said, I can't do this. However, there aren't too many things that I'm grateful for or that I appreciated with COVID, but during COVID, we weren't allowed to congregate. So I had the luxury of going to their offices and doing smaller meetings. So I was able to, be successful in that job in that manner. But I knew I couldn't stay that way. I knew I had something in me that I needed to grow. I needed to get out of that shell. And so me working with you, Dr. Cheryl, I call it the recipe. No, I'm not saying that my fear of public speaking is all gone, that,
Right.
I don't have public speaking. I still have the butterflies. I still get it. I got it today. But I have the recipe. I know how to manage that. I know how to craft a speech. I know how to craft a 5-minute speech, a 20-minute speech. I know how to manage my throat. I know there's so many things within that recipe that now gives me the confidence to go and speak with confidence, right? And then the second thing that's different with me is my mindset. So I was one of those people who I love learning. And so I used to feel like I need to get this certification and that certification and finish this training and all of these things before I'm ready to go. And then I think it was at one of your conferences, I heard this thing where someone said it. Every master used to be a disaster. And that thing liberated me. That thing made me realize, you know what, Brandy, you are enough. You are equipped. You have enough. You are ready to go. You need to go on and do it right now. Do it afraid. And one of my favorite scriptures is, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so I leaned on that. And listen, those two things, me having the recipe, the know-how, and me with a different mindset, now tells me that I can do this thing called public speaking.
I love that. What a juicy story. If y'all, somebody type in the chat, I want that recipe. I done put that in my little notes. I said, I got to do something with the recipe now.
Yes.
Well, come on now. Like, your clients will give you stuff. You be like, oh, that's good. Somebody type in the chat, I want that recipe. I want that recipe. Coming over to Vernita. Thank you so much, Brandy.
Listen, Dr. Cheryl, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna.
You know what
tell
it means
you
when a sister start with listen. Okay. You already know.
It was 5 years ago, Dr. Cheryl. You don't even know this story. It's 5 years ago. I saw Dr. Cheryl. She came across my Facebook page, and I saw what you were doing, and I just said, "Wow!" I was speechless, and I was like, "How can I do that?" And I reached out in Facebook Messenger, and I believe it was your assistant that reached back out, and she was like, "Oh, we have this program if you would like to be a part of it." And I froze. I didn't do it. I said, "It's okay." And I share the story because in that moment, I got in my own way. Now, I believe God don't make no mistakes, because here I am today, and I came back into this space. Why? Because what Dr. Cheryl is saying, which is part of the success story, is she kept showing up. Even though I didn't want to show up for my own self in that moment, she kept showing up in all the things that I was seeing, whether it was LinkedIn, whether it was Facebook, to say, here's your chance, tell your story, speak your piece. Not that I'm not in the space of teaching and training, but here's the one thing. I talk about bystander intervention all the time, but I was the bystander in my own life. Ooh. Standing there watching my opportunity pass me by until I didn't. And I joined the speaker challenge. I got on that stage. I'm proud to say I was one of the winning speakers last year at SpeakerCon. Okay, I was on that stage, and I did it afraid. Yes, I went to that back table, signed up for a lower program, looked at myself, and said, "Why? All of these things that she's talking about right now, it's not just something to say, it's an excellence." And when I walked away from that table, I said, you know that you're more than that, so invest in yourself. So my success story is just like it was said tonight. I had to invest in me. How is someone else going to invest in me and who I say I am if I'm not willing to do it myself?
Come on.
So this story, this experience, the delivery was beyond what was expected. The delivery was beyond what was said. So after the day, I just want to tell y'all this. Whatever she says she gonna deliver, just know it's gonna be that times 10, that times 20, whatever she wants to feed into you that day, because I appreciate the fact you don't let the moment or time or excuse be a reason to pour into people. So my success story is, thank you for reminding me of who I am. Thank you for reminding me for not being a bystander in my own life.
Come on. Y'all blessing my heart, but I ain't crying because I got eyelashes on. They got the last till about 9:30 tonight. I can't take this off till 9:30 tonight. But you are blessing my soul with the feedback. Again, this is not rehearsed, y'all. This is just purely organic, what they feel that they want to share. So, okay, so we got about 20 minutes and 15, 20 minutes left. Okay, so let me get to this. Is there a specific breakthrough or result that you can pinpoint as a result of working with me and how it's kind of impacted your overall growth? Is there something, either a tangible result or some internal breakthrough that you can pinpoint and you're like, yeah, it was a result of my training that I signed up for with Dr. Cheryl?
I got to come off of mute. Hands down for me, storytelling.
Mm.
That right there was the breakthrough moment for me. The way that you take us through the process, even me practicing it now, my voice, the range of my voice, the volume, bringing it down, going into the moment.
Yeah.
The storytelling for me was the biggest thing that I have learned, and I'm still working on. I said have learned, but still working on. The storytelling was the way that you taught us to do it. It was a way that makes it natural and was put us in a space where we could speak our truth. So that was, for me, the storytelling was hands down one of the biggest things that I've learned. So thank you.
I love that. I love that. And I want you all to understand, I'm not trying to create mini Cheryls. No, ain't no mini Dr. Cheryls. No, it's one me and it's one you, and you got to be you in your power. So I love that you shared that. It's helping you to pull out of you your authentic voice, the way that you say it. If you're quirky, be quirky. If you're funny, be funny. If you're serious, okay, we can add some range to that so that it deepens the connection every time you're speaking, whether it's a virtual stage, a live in-person stage, whether it's in front of 2 people or 200 or 2,000 people. So yes, we can teach you vocal modulation. We can teach you mastery of the message that you're expressing. We can teach you stage presence. We can teach you the power of storytelling and how you pull the audience in. We can teach you the effect of pauses and leaning in so that people can feel your heart. Notice the way my volume went down. My tone shifted. But then I can be equally as excited. And I can let you know, you can do this. You got this. Like, we literally teach you the range. And again, it's not that the women and the men who come to the program, Dr. Donald Tolson went to the program. He's one of our alumni. The support team who are here, they're alumni. So they're growing. And I love that all of you are saying, I'm still working on it. That's great. Because the thing that is not growing is dying. I'm still working on it. And every time I put myself in continued spaces or proximity with other people who are working on it, it gives me renewed energy to keep working on it. Every time I talk to Les Brown on the phone, he called me 6 o'clock. I told you he called me 6 o'clock in the morning. I'd be like, why are you up, Great One? I call him Great One. Great One, why are you up? I'm like, this man is 80. He called me at 6 in the morning. Why are you up? Because there's a calling on his life. And he understands that he has fewer days in front of him than it does behind him. And he refuses to waste any day, any moment, any breath in his body. No, I got to get up early so that I can make the impact that I'm meant to make. But every time I listen to him, whether it's on the phone, even if we just have a 6-minute, 7-minute call, I learned something. And I'm like, dang, this one you the GOAT. Every time. His use of quotes, it inspires me. It blows my mind. How do you keep that many quotes in that brain? Like, he got a quote for everything. I don't care you could be talking about puppy dogs and Les gonna have a quote that's gonna be applicable. You hear what I'm saying? Like, he's that brilliant. When I went to Toastmasters and I did that competition last year and I made it to the top 28 and I got to hear those other 27 people, and then the 8 who made it to the final world stage, 2 of which you got to hear from earlier today, I was like, oh my God. Like, whoa. I still got work to do. I want to be amazing like that. So all of us are a work in progress, if you so choose. If you so choose that you have not arrived, you get to continue to be a work in progress. And that's a beautiful space to be in. So thank you for sharing that. Coming over to Brandy and Lucille. Do y'all need me to ask the question again? What tangible result or breakthrough or internal transformation did you experience or have you experienced as a result of working with Dr. Cheryl through the GSU programs?
I think Brandy wants to talk, but she's on mute.
Oh. Yep, you're on mute.
Okay. Can
There
you
you
hear
go.
me?
Yes.
All right, awesome. For me, it's speaking. Since being in GSU, and I think about it, it's even before I graduated, I felt comfortable speaking. And so from that time till now, I have done 5 speaking engagements.
Come on, 5. Y'all celebrate. Type 5 in the chat and throw some hearts behind that thing. Come on.
Yes. So 5 speaking engagements, right? And for me, the beautiful thing is there've been 5 different types. I've done a panel. That was very different for me. I've spoken to a group of students at a school, at a college, a group of international business students at a college. I've done a virtual conference with the Passion Purpose Peace Summit. 2 of our GSU alumni hosted events,
Yes.
and I was a speaker at their events, a keynote speaker and a panel member. Recently, I don't know what got into me to make me sign up and audition for an MC role at an event.
Woo! Yes.
And then when they told me I got the role,
Come on.
I said, it took a minute to hit me. It's like, oh God, you chose me? I would just put my name in the hat. I mean, I know I put my best foot forward, into the audition.
Yeah.
And yes, I wanted the role, but I didn't think I was going to get chosen. And I love that. I'm looking forward to it. I'm nervous as heck. I can tell you that right now, but I'm going to do it because it's stretching me, and that is going to be so different for me. And I'm just excited, of the fact that I'm able to get out and speak in different audiences, in different formats. So that's it for me.
Wow. Congratulations. Keep soaring. That's what it's about. Lucille?
All right, Dr. Cheryl. Since becoming a part of GSU, I have done so many things. I've started my podcast. I have partnered with other people to do events. I have put myself out there. I've had some paid speaking engagements, some free speaking engagements. I'll say pro bono, not free. I'll say pro bono.
We don't speak for free. We do what? Somebody tell me in the chat. We don't speak for free. Because I expect if I come in and give value, that I'm going to get some type of value back in return. So I'm not a free speaker. What do I do? Come on, GSU, tell us in the chat. Go ahead, Lucille.
Okay. I was able to waive our fee. I love that.
Yes. We will waive our fee, but we will get value in some other way. So we don't do free.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I had signed up for some other speaking programs before yours. So I have some things to compare your program to. There was so much value in your program. You really, really over deliver. We say that a lot, but I mean, for real, you really do over deliver. And what I mean by that is I signed up for a lower tier just to kind of get my little pinky toe in, Because the first time I went to SpeakerCon, I was like, I can't really invest that much, but I'm gonna take this lower program, and and it was so valuable. But to be around the other speakers who were at the higher tier, because you allow us to sit in on a lot of the same teaching sessions, but they just get a little bit more proximity to you and a little bit more working with and everything. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness, I need to be closer to Dr. Cheryl. This right here, this little stuff right here, this is good for the introductory. I got my little pinky toe in. I'm ready to kind of, put my whole foot in, kind of wade out in the water, get in there a little bit. And so the next year is when, I put the investment out for the larger tier program. And boy, has it been a game changer. Like I said, I've done so many things. Like I had already written the book before I started working with you. I've been in 2 book projects with you. I've been on your stage as a contestant. Almost got 3rd place. Didn't make it that time, but I'm here in Texas. I'm in DC right now, but I am in Texas. I am in Dallas, Texas. I didn't know how it was going to work with being long distance, but it hasn't been a problem at all. If I have to travel, I want to do something in person, you will offer that. There's no judgment if I can't make it. It's the offer is still made there for me. So it has just been a wonderful experience. Now, if I can say just two other things.
Yeah.
Being authentic, you have really, your feedback to me when I've tried to give you a canned speech, so to speak, is what did you tell me that time? He was like, Lucia, I feel like you just giving me a little something. I don't forgot what you said, but it was just like, oh man. She was like, no, I don't want to hear that.
I was like, what was that?
I was
like, her? That's not what we've been practicing. When you come up with that speech?
Sound like you just trying to get to your points. I don't want to hear nothing about what is hypothetically
exactly what it was. Yep.
Hypothetically, two couples are sitting at a table or whatever. No, I want to hear your story of you sitting at the table. Where's your story
you were saying it in like third person, and so
yes.
Like,
I couldn't think of a story of my own that fit what I was trying to do. He was like, no,
that ain't it.
That ain't doing nothing for me. And I appreciate that. You know, I want the real. If it ain't doing nothing for you, if it's not hitting like I needed to hit, I needed to hear that. And so I had to go back to the drawing room and find a story. I had one. And when I came back to the table, you said, now that's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. So I was like, and being coachable, anyone who is interested in being a part of GSU, come and be coachable. And that's what I did. I came and whatever feedback she give me, because she gonna be real. She that Baltimore girl. Ain't that where you from, Dr. She that Baltimore girl now. She gonna come with the real.
Yes.
And like I said, I appreciate that. She didn't sugarcoat anything. She was like, hey, that ain't really doing it for me. And I went back to the drawing board and came back with something else. And she praised me for that. Now, last thing, the community. Being around your community has been such a joy. Being part of the Facebook group, being part of the elite group, just being around these wonderful ladies. And in this day of Zoom and connectivity and everything, we don't have to be in the same place in order to partner and do things together. And so that has just been such a blessing. And I thank the Lord for you, Dr. Cheryl.
I just love working with you. I love my clients so much, and I love you enough where I'm never gonna let you get on a stage and do something that I know is not gonna move the audience. Like if I hear it and I'm like, and I'll tell you, I'll say, I hear you, but I don't feel you. Now, I always want you to be authentic to who you are, so I always will give my feedback and I'll say, this is what I would suggest, that you tweak this and we change this and let's pull something more out of that story, or don't say it in third person. Tell us it was you. Like, don't wait until the end and by the way, it was me. Don't nobody want to hear that. I want to know that at the beginning of the story so I know who you're talking about, right? Things like that. And if you're coachable and you receive that, you will shine on stage. You will surprise yourself. And people love hearing you speak, Lucille. They're all, even today, everybody was just like, oh my God, she's such a great storyteller. You are a powerhouse. And sometimes we need help tweaking little parts of it. Doesn't mean we were already great when we came into the program. It's just, okay, I want the next level. And I don't know about, I always want the next level. I want to be the greatest I can be. So whether it's a Dr. Frazier pouring into me, or Linda Clemens, or Lisa Nichols, or Les Brown, or whoever I might be working with at the time, I'm coachable. I never come into the space like, oh, I know, because I've been doing it for 15 years. Well, guess what? They've been doing it for 40 or 50. So there's clearly some things that you know that I don't know yet. And for many of you who come into the programs, there will just be some things that you have to learn, and you just have to be coachable. And it's okay, because everything that I pour it out of love. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you something is great and it's not, because why would I do that to you? Why would I set you up for failure? I want to set you up for success, massive success, where you don't even know. You look and be like, who am I? By the time you get through the training, that's my job. That's my responsibility. So thank you for sharing that. That warms my heart. All right, we're going to wind down. I'm going to skip to this last question that I have, which is, if there is somebody who's on the line, and we haven't even talked about any of the offers yet, but we are going to go into a private session for anybody who wants to hear the kind of the sneak preview. We're going to do that right after this. If there's any visionary change maker, leader, speaker who's on this session right now, on this call, and they're like, I ain't, you know, I've had people come to my conference and they're like, I ain't signed up for nothing. And they be the main ones signing up for the top tier thing. But maybe if they're questioning, do I even want to listen to the offer? Do I even want to hear it? I don't know. Is it time for me to do this? Do I really want to be in the program? What would you say to them just from your own experience? And this will be kind of your wrap up, your closing statements, if you will. And then we'll release people for dinner break, and we'll go into a private session for anybody who wants a sneak peek before we share the program. You can go as you would like to.
Okay, I didn't want to step over anybody. I would say if anybody is on the fence about it, I would say to them, where do you want to be next year? Next year's coming. I mean, these years, as I get older, these years are passing by faster and faster.
Okay.
But what's your vision for yourself? And that's what I had to ask myself is, where did I want to be a year from now? And do I have the tools to be there by myself? And so the answer was no, I didn't have the tools. And I have, in my profession, I'm an accountant. I'm also an auditor. And there are certifications that I have. And each certification that I have had a coach. My daughter's a teacher. She's going for a principal certification. She has had a coach. If you want to get somewhere faster, I recommend, for whatever it is, if you're going for a certification, get you a coach, because it's going to get you there faster. Yeah, you can YouTube it. You can YouTube it and buy all the books and all that kind of stuff, but it's going to take you more time.
Yeah.
So why not just go ahead, if this is what you say you really want? If it's not what you want, then hey, that's all right. But if it's something that you really want in a year's time, and if you don't have the tools yourself already at your disposal to get there, then I would recommend that you invest in a coach. And that's exactly what Dr. Cheryl is offering. She offered me and everybody here that's been through the program an opportunity to grow exponentially, not have to go to YouTube University, not have to read all the books, to be able to have access to a person who's been in her business all of these years, who has paid for coaching programs herself. Been with the likes of what's her name? Nichols and Les Brown and all of those people. So she's not only bringing her expertise for her, I think she said 14 years or something like that, but she's also bringing the expertise of the coaching that she's paid for.
Yeah.
So I get some of Lisa Nichols just through Dr. Cheryl. I like a bargain. Look, I can get some of Lisa Nichols through Dr. Cheryl at a fraction of the price. Come on, give it to me.
I know that's right. And you're right. That I love that. You're right. Because it's like, okay, I made those big investments. My first investment with Lisa was 49,000, like 49K. And then I did a VIP day. It's like 60K one day. I had to fly out to Calabasas, California. But again, you know, I felt like I'm worth it. I'm worth every investment I make in me. And that's why you're looking at this version of Dr. Cheryl. It wasn't because I played safe and played comfortable. And trust me, it was scary. And then after I did that coaching with Lisa, the 2 sessions with Lisa, the VIP 60K, the 49K for the program I was in before that, then I went and I was like, okay, well, I felt like I was following the steps. Okay, then what's the next step? Because I don't want to stop growing. The thing that is not growing is dying. I want to keep growing. And so then I went and I coached with Lisa's coach. And that cost me 120 grand. I was paying my monthly payments. Y'all ready, drum roll? My monthly payments were 10 grand a month. 10 grand a month. My mortgage ain't 10 grand a month. My car note, not 10 grand a month. I was paying 10 grand a month. That's how bad I wanted it. That's how bad I wanted to get access to the tools that I didn't already have. And if that's the person that has the answer, I'm going to find a way. I'm not going to make an excuse. I'm going to find a way. And I'm not saying that I didn't just have, again, 10,000 laying around every month, but I worked my butt off to make sure I could make those payments every single month. I put down a hefty deposit and then I paid the monthly payments. So yeah, it's how bad do you want it? So thank you for sharing that. All right, who's next?
I'll go next. So you spoke about investments and cost, right? If anyone is asking me, Brandy, what do you think? And I've had people last year come up and ask me, should I, And so I will tell them the same thing that I told those 3 people. Absolutely. Yes, do it. You will, not you might, but you will get a return on your investment. Do the work, show up, be consistent, and you will get a return on your investment. The next reason I'll tell them is community. So this community, listen, yesterday I did a social media post and I had to trim my video because I did not realize how many events I've gone to, GSU members all over the place. GSU members, just pictures and pictures and events where we're supporting each other. We're not just going, we're supporting each other. We're showing up, we're helping, we're there, we're speaking, we're working, right? We're loving on each other and supporting each other. And that is valuable. That there right now, I'm not gonna get in trouble for this, but right now there's a small group of us, right? We call ourselves, we're sisters. We have our group chat and we're like sisters and we support each other and we help each other, in our speaking endeavors. And that to me is very valuable. I have been with other programs, different types of programs, and I don't have that. I don't have that level of community and love and support. And then the last thing I will say, I think Lucille touched on it. Dr. Cheryl she's hilarious. she is transparent, right? She will tell you like it is. And it is so, in a well-meaning way, of course, right? In a well-meaning way, she is very, very passionate about this thing called public speaking and your growth. She's very passionate about it. That's real business for her, real serious business for her. And she's generous. And what I mean by that is, Lucille said it earlier, she gives and she gives. And the material, we'll be on a call that was supposed to be 20 minutes. And I'm like, okay, lady. She is giving so much more information. I know y'all agree with me in the chat, right? But she loves sharing information, and she's not just going to give you what you signed up for. She's so generous, and for those reasons, those things are very valuable to me. And so I will tell anyone, yes, absolutely do it. Sign up and invest in yourself.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. And last but not least, and again, our team, they're dropping in the link, the chat. We're going to be wrapping this up in the next 5 minutes. So if you want to be in the sneak preview, go ahead and cut and paste that so that you can put that into another window and you'll go right there as soon as we're done this. Or you can wait until later and you'll hear it. But for this one particular program that we're going to be offering, we only have 8 spots available. So we just want to make sure that people who really have an interest, they get kind of first dibs at it by giving you the kind of the sneak preview before we offer it to everybody. Last but not least, Vernita.
All right. So if you are thinking about it, if you're someone right now that's on the fence, and as I shared earlier, I was that person that was on the fence. We talked about support, community, and all of those things. But I just want to spotlight also Dr. Cheryl's support team. Because when I was on the fence, those individuals took time with me. And they don't just try to sell you a program or sell you a plan. They ask you what's going on. They take those things into consideration. And what some individuals may not believe, and Dr. Cheryl will tell you, is that she doesn't want you to not pay your rent or your mortgage or your light bill to be part of the program. Yeah. She wants you to become part of the community and do what is in your means. And see, a lot of people don't think of things that way. So not only is she being a leader, but she's being a selfless leader, not just to push you into something, but to look at what can you do, what's going to be best for you. And in the event, this part of the program is not for you, let's work this part right now so I can still feed into you. So don't second guess yourself and say, well, I can't do this, so I might. No, sit down, look at what you can do. Ask yourself, what have I been wasting on? Because every coach needs a coach, but you need a coach that's going to push you to the next level. You need a coach that's going to take you to places that you haven't been. You're not trying to open doors that you can open yourself. You're trying to learn how to open doors that you have been unable to open. I had the opportunity to also be in a speaker training with Les Brown. Dr. Cheryl talks about Lisa Nichols and Les Brown. But let me tell you something. Les Brown loves Dr. Cheryl. See, when I say, oh, I talked to Dr. Cheryl, oh, wait a minute. Oh, you getting by a powerhouse. So this is someone with his years of experience that is showing that love. And she does the same thing for us. She doesn't just close you off and doesn't provide you an opportunity to shine. She lets you shine while she shines the group, the support, the community. So don't just think about it selfishly as this is just another training, just another check in the box. Look at this as a lifetime of support, a lifetime of community and an experience that you are going to continue to grow from, and that you can reach down and pull somebody up, because this has been nothing less than short of excellence that I've experienced as I've been a part of this community.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thanks to all three of you. Again, this isn't rehearsed because it shouldn't have to be rehearsed. I like people to speak from their heart. Hey, I'm going to ask you these couple questions to say what you're going to say. And just tell what did my email say? Just speak your truth. That's it. No rehearsal. No, well, run it past me what you're going to say or say it this way. We don't script. It's just organic. And that's the best kind of social proof, if you will, case study, if you will, that you can have is when it organically comes from people and it comes directly from their heart. So thank you all so much. You really did fill my heart and my cup with everything that you shared. And it is so true. Like everything they say, I care about my people that I work with, because what I say yesterday, like, yes, I love the people, but bigger than that, I love the one who assigned me to the people. Like I got to answer to the higher being. Were you a good and faithful steward over what I put in your hands? And that's important to me. So I got to be good to my folk. I got to be integral. I got to honor my word. I got to fulfill what I say and over deliver, because that's going to come back. I don't have to answer for that. How I treated people and how I served them. Did I serve them well? Did I give them all of me? Did I over deliver? And yes, I love that Vernita mentioned that as well. We don't force people into programs. We don't push people into programs. We're never going to tell you go refinance your house. I hadn't heard all the sales conversations. I've been in business for 15 years. I've been behind the scenes with some of the biggest names that the big name. I've been in their rooms privately. I hear the conversations and I know what they do to push people into programs. And I just don't do that. Like I told my husband, I was like, I could probably be a billionaire. I could be a billionaire right now, but I don't want to sell my soul for money. I don't want to sell my soul to be a billionaire. I don't want to rip people off and be a shark, another shark in the water to make money. Because at the end of the day, we talked about all day today, it's about how you make people feel, and are they going to have stories to share about how you made them feel and who you made them believe that they could become and what they could accomplish. That's the bigger part of this work. And I love the work, and it is my life's work that I know I'm born to do. And with that comes a responsibility. So thank you, ladies, for sharing. I appreciate your heart. We're going to go ahead and break now. For those of you who are interested in the sneak peek, we have posted that link there about 55 times. Thank you to my team so much. We're going to just take this is good because we're about 10 minutes ahead, 12 minutes ahead of schedule. So we'll meet over there now. If no one shows up, that's fine. We'll talk about it tonight. If anybody does show up, because you're ready to hear what it is at least, then we'll meet you there. And everybody else, we will see you back here at 6:30. And everything is happening in one room. So just like I showed you earlier, you're going to go to speakerconconference2025.com, join the lobby. When you come into the lobby, that's on the right. When you come into the lobby, scroll down some, you'll see the little button on the side, on the left side that says join. And that'll be our closing session. We're going to have some amazing folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 folks giving us spark talks. These are just short, powerful sparks that it's going to give you from them sharing their story. And then I'm going to give our closing masterclass, and then we will convene until tomorrow. So go get you a bite to eat, refresh yourself. Don't eat too heavy because we don't want you falling asleep. Your head nodding like this at the computer. You can't keep your eyes open. We will see you back here at 6:30. When you come back on time, but also bring a friend. All right. We'll see you soon.